predictions here? We haven't done a lot of that conversation caster to caster. What's your prediction here?
We're going to 5 games because it is indeed Winchester, and because we're behind by an hour. So, of course, we're going to 5 games, right? And I think it's going to be Winchester that takes it, and I think, unfortunately for Jordan, Winchester's going to move through.
Okay.
I think he kicked the curse yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely did. It's a tricky one, right? I don't think anyone can really be critical of us. If one of us were to say 3-0 for one of these individuals, maybe, I'm going to go 3-1 Nicov. Okay,
3-1 Nicov, and here we are. Game number 1, it's going to be Kawasan, and it's going to be the exact same matchup that Liereyy and I cast, Hera versus TheViper last night, and Winchester playing in the Aztecs, which Hera played in. Nicov playing Byzantines, which Viper played as. Hera said after the set, he thought this was a really easy matchup for Aztecs. He thinks people are playing Byzantines wrong. He didn't elaborate, but he thinks they're playing them wrong on Kawasan.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we have a small sample size. Obviously, after you win 3-0 versus Viper, you're going to be feeling pretty good about your strategy. And here comes Nicov. Now, I don't know where the Shorefish have gone, but they are, okay, there is that one. I was going to say for Nicov, he was searching pretty heavily there. And we're going to see the dock for him. So, you know, Byzantines have the faster fires here. This is the big thing. Sorry to cover up a donation there.
Oh, I saw the 101 come in, and then I see Casaro with another 100 as people keep donating.
Don't donate right now, okay? I'm explaining the Byzantines.
Overlay, all right?
Yeah, this is important stuff, guys. So, you know, Byzantines, they have more HP on their buildings, which is massive. And then the faster attacking fires is also hugely important here. And those are really the 2 big things. Town Watch and Town Patrol being free, also very helpful.
Huge on hybrid maps. Massive.
And the Cataphract can also be incredibly helpful depending on how the game plays out. As for the Aztecs, this has been around a long time. They don't really have a bonus which stands out for a map that incorporates water, but the military units creating faster, the villagers carrying more resources, and starting with more gold. Those 3 things can give you a really good feudal age.
Yeah, and the scout is already attacking the palisade, but it looks like Winchester is going to be able to repair in time. Last time with this Civ matchup, we saw the Aztecs actually win water, and I think that was because Viper invested in another dock on the other side, so that's 150 wood that Hera didn't spend. And once he won water, it was incredibly difficult for Viper to keep up with the production on land, right? Hera immediately shifted into that archer play, and then faster Castle Age Eagles got control of the berries on the center. And it's just done from that point forward because Byzantines, it doesn't feel great going knights in Castle Age to counter those Eagles. You almost have to hit the timings first before the Aztecs.
Look at these guys. So there's like this occasional, I don't even know if you can call it a bug, let's say feature, where you can attack through a fully walled situation. Both players tried that. The scout tried it, the eagle tried it. Thankfully, that hasn't happened here for both players. But yeah, Dave, I mean, something to talk about when we have more time possibly. But I really feel like just going double dock on your own water, it's less investment as opposed to going for, you know, the 3rd dock somewhere else or 2 docks somewhere else. And you're going to keep your own fish safe. You can't really go wrong with 2 docks on your own pond. So maybe that was the issue for Viper. Spent a little bit too much wood. The second lumber camp there for Nicov. And Nicov right now hasn't gone to gold yet. As I say it, the Vils are headed away from the TC. The Winchester going to steal a couple turkeys here. And Vinch is adding that barracks. So this could be man-at-arms for him. That barracks should be up already. And this hasn't been common on this map because players have streamlined their builds towards some type of map control on the water.
FM, thank you again for another donation. Very generous, guys. And Nicov is going up to the pond in the north. So he's going to have the fish uncontested for now, the pond to the south. And then he's going to go contest Winchester's fish. So Winchester, he will need to invest on the water. He will also need to go for land.
Wait a second. Did those turkeys just get given to Nicov?
I think Winchester sent them back. These are mind games, dude. In a land, you're allowed to bring those turkeys back to your base. You're allowed to lame those turkeys.
What?
And he sent them into Nikov's base. Maybe it was just bad pathing by Winchester, and Nicov was kind of sarcastic there with the thank you, but he got a response.
I mean, you can say good guy. But you can also say, bro, you need to win. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
It might have been like sarcasm from Nicov.
Maybe.
Though. It might have been sarcasm. Yeah. Maybe Winchester misclicked those. We don't know. We see Winchester already going for that second dock, and he's already hit a pretty good timing with his militia coming forward.
Yeah.
Nicov will have that first fire galley out, but it's only one dock up here.
Yeah.
Because he had to put the other one in the bottom pond and go for his fishing down there.
Absolutely. Now, what's interesting is it almost feels like Nicov is foreseeing the fact that he is going to lose some fishing ships in the north. It's very rare that we see someone go above 5 fishing ships here. Nikov's got fishing ships in queue. So what Nicov doesn't know, though, is that it's man-at-arms. Let's see his reaction time. He has more vision with the Byzantines. He tries to get the walls down. Immediately pulls away because he knows he's not going to get them.
Yep.
But thankfully, he's got some turkeys underneath the TC to go eat now
and I think
with these villagers.
Yeah, and I think this villager is going to survive here. Nicov manages to protect the other 3. It's going to stall out his wood eco, so he can't fully invest in the north there, but he manages to take out the eagle from Winchester. And like you said, he's got those turkeys to eat, right?
Yeah.
So Winchester maybe wants to rethink giving those back to Nicov as Nicov pulls away with the first fire galley. I'm surprised that he even went for a fishing ship up here.
Yeah, I think that might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a mistake because you have 2 docks and it's easy
and
enough
he's not
to make
repairing. He's still fishing with the villager.
He's distracted with the man-at-arms at the moment.
Completely distracted. Walling up at the back of his base. He's chosen to allocate his attention at home rather than on this pond. But with that flag in there, Winchester has to keep investing onto water because he doesn't know what's inside that dock. Nicov could even just leave 1 ship there, and Winchester is going to have to make at least like a couple more ships.
Absolutely.
To keep tabs on that.
So normally what you want to follow up man-at-arms with is a range on land. But if you do that, then you're not able to go for the dock to contest the fish on the other side. I would love to see the vision from Vinch here. I'm guessing, and I completely forgotten what his vision was earlier, but he has not even, he's just scouted the dock.
No, I
Recently?
think he
No,
saw
he did
the
that
scout.
earlier,
Yeah,
he tried
because
to
you had a
attack
whole
the
moment where you were talking about things going over diagonals and angles and math and everything. And
well, then if that's the case, then you've got to start thinking about that if you're Winchester soon because. Man. I think you just let him have it. You let him have it. Like, there's only so many fish in there, right? You got to just keep your own fish safe at the top, and then you're even with him as long as none of your fishing ships die, and you focus on the pressure. You don't have the extra resources to go for that. And a lot of players, if they're playing Byzantines, are doing what Nicov is doing right now, which is outposting around that pond in the south. Because you have free town watch, you're going to get so much vision so you can see the dock coming in early. Yep. I like the demo sitting there for Vinch, just in case he knows the ships from Nicov are going to make a run for it.
Yep.
But Nicov has played really well economically. The resources collected is very close for both of them, though. And we did not see a range follow-up at all for Winchester. He's actually just adding eagles. And that was the unit that Hera ended up going for in the Castle Age. That is the unit, accompanied with monks, of course, that you typically see from the Aztecs.
I'm honestly surprised that Nicov is sending like 1 archer at a time across. Because you always add eagles here, right? If you're Winchester.
Yep.
And you'd be in a position to pick those off, but maybe just killing that starting eagle has given him a lot more confidence to send those units 1 by 1, and he's going to find some pressure potentially on the gold, which I believe he scouted earlier. So there's opportunities here with that house villager and the gold villagers. The eagles are still in the barracks there from Winchester. He's going to bring those over, but it looks like he's actually going to lose a villager to Nicov.
Talk about value. The TC will garrison, but doink, nice little snipe there. This is a guy who didn't have fletching in that moment, and now could use this moment where he's distracted and somehow repairing through the wall to pop out there on water. He's got a lot of ships in that dock there, Dave.
No armor for those eagles, and I believe there's no archer range
for Nicov,
or for Winchester as Nicov comes forward with a demo. Winchester's going to be able to deal with this, though. Oh, perfect.
Oh, if you would have hit the demo, that would have been awesome. So a bit fortunate there for Winchester as he now lands his own demo. Obviously, both players distracted here, though, and I still prefer Nikov's position, at least in terms of the eco units. But Aztecs can be insane in Castle Age if they have gold.
And look at the resources from Winchester.
Yep.
Look at the resources. He's about to click up. Nicov isn't that far away, but whoever controls the middle area here, assuming Winchester manages to clear up those few archers at the front, will get that instantaneous food boost. They won't have to drop farms. They can just come right forward for the berries. No wood investment, barely anyway, maybe a mill or a town center. But after that, you should be in a position to snowball. And Byzantines, we talked about their options against Eagles. They're not great.
Yeah, unless you get to the Cataphract, in which case it's better than great. But I got to say, man, Nikov's little wall is a little concerning to me.
Little wall? In what world is this a little wall?
Well, it's little right now. When it's completed, it's going to be a pretty big one. I think he sent his idols back to work and just forgot about that.
He's actually going for a second dock up in the north.
I like that.
So he's going to be able to take out all these fish, and that's what we were talking about with Winchester. It's such a delicate dance. Like, do you continue investing if your opponent only has one dock with a flag on it?
Yeah.
I guess he didn't invest enough because Nicov was able to bust out and get a lot of value there, and then Nicov should be in a position with Byzantine fires to continue that fight.
Yep. Nikov's up. He will be a little over a minute behind to the Castle Age. Total KD's quite close here, but the archers are through, and you cannot defend from this if you're Winchester because you never went for skirms.
You never went for an archer range, and Winchester already going to be down 2 more villagers here. Nikov's never letting that guy go. He's going to kill another 3 probably.
Oh my God, this is so good for Nicov right now. Especially with any pressure that you might have had with Aztecs reaching Castle Age faster, suddenly you feel so much better about the rest of this game. Beautiful play from him. Vinch is going to chase down an archer there. That's not really that important. Nicov just needed to get more value from his Feudal Age army before Castle Age comes in for both.
I think maybe Winchester didn't expect Nicov to send the archers forward like that. He thought he could mass the eagles in his barracks. Maybe losing that starting eagle was massive. He didn't have any vision on what Nicov was doing at home, but not going for the range in favor of a faster Castle Age time is a very greedy strategy, and he's being punished for it completely. He is going for that middle area now with a monastery, but Nicov already has the stable at home, and Nicov is still massing fires and demos in the north.
Nikov's starting scout's still alive as well, able to see everything. I love that. The tiny wall is now turning into a medium-sized wall and is on its way to being an extremely large wall. Nicov, I guess, never scouted the wood line, but I think he's going to get the walls down before any eagles can get in.
Imagine not having enough vision as Byzantines.
True.
It's like, what else do you need, bro? What else do you need? Nicov just slowly working his way towards the edge of the map. Eagle Warrior is in, and those archers are going to struggle, and we won't even see the crossbow upgrade here for Nicov. It's simply not worth it as he goes for War Galley first and tries to find as much value on that wood line as possible. Scout from Nicov not spotting these 2 monasteries in the center, and the eagles are coming forward. Nicov is already there with a couple knights. Byzantine knights lacking bloodlines, so they're not the best answer to eagle monk from the Aztecs here in Castle Age.
And you don't need a lot of eco to spam eagles. You just need a lot on golds. He's got enough food there, Winchester. He's got more on food than Nicov does even.
Boy.
That's going to change in a hot second. Boom!
Yep, see you later, fire galleys.
But also, there's not a lot of fish there anyways. I think Winchester's already planned on losing that, and he's okay with his middle position.
There are 2 relics around the pawns, so it's not the worst thing controlling both of the pawns. You can see grabbing those relics in the south is going to be awfully difficult for Winchester. Grabbing the ones in the north is going to be a lot more difficult now as he goes for a second TC on the berries there. So if you're thinking fish is gone, food eco is gone, no. He's going to have access to a lot more food here with these berries. This is a fantastic attempt from Nicov. We'll see if we can find any damage with those knights at the back.
So Nicov has 6 on food. He's very few farms. It's just the 6 fishing ships, really. He's going to buy the stone, because he had used some earlier, to place a TC to protect himself, because he can't engage those monks right now. And, like, I see the Siege Workshop day, but I never love to see Siege against Aztecs because they can convert the Siege, and the Eagle Warriors are pretty good against it. So some economic issues for Nicov. He's trying to find the right army composition. Winchester is going to see this here, so he knows the counterattack's there, but his gold's still exposed. Winchester quick wall. The knights are going to get in.
He disagrees. He goes into the tower instead. There's no armor on those knights, so they will die eventually, but they're going to get a lot of value.
And on the other side, other side too, at the same moment, it's kind of hard to focus on this. And the monks, was that one monk down? I think one monk went down on the farm.
Splitting away from TC fire with monks. You love to see it, but those knights, they keep getting villager kills, and the eco KD right now for Nicov is 14-2. Robin, thank you again for the donation to the prize pool. Keep them coming, folks. If you are enjoying NAC4, we've got a mangonel now from Nicov. And there's a Siege Workshop in response here from Winchester, but Winchester has that option, like you said, of going for redemption to convert those mangonels.
Where are those eagles going? Are they going to find anything back there? Are they just going to find the archers? Market?
And the eagles back here, oh, these are the ones we were talking about.
Yeah. Oh, man, archers going for the monks. No, archers
they have too
MVP.
Much HP. No, they're Aztec monks. He doesn't die. He never dies. He never dies.
Bang it out.
Nope, now heal it all up.
Bang it out.
Aztec monks, dude.
Okay, well, that was very well played. And yeah, and that's how you're going to win this game right now. If you're Winchester, is through the monks. not necessarily the Eagles. Reminder, Nicov does not have access to stone at the moment, so cataphracts are definitely out of the question. The amount he has on food is so little.
Yeah,
and it's garrisons. Like, he'll send some villagers back to farms in a second, but even that's not good.
Yeah, and it's like, do you go for fish traps here because you know your opponent has full control over this middle area? One converted fishing ship, he takes all of your traps, right? Like,
yeah. That's better. That must have been part of the reason why Nicov struggled so much. Eagles diving in. If there were more knights, they'd consider against it. But no, it's an easy mangonel pickoff, and Winchester starting a bit of a snowball here. No +2 armor on his Eagles, and the crossbows actually have Bodkin arrow now for Nicov. So crossbow is actually more his unit of choice.
Lots of gold being banked up. Redemption is about to come in soon, I would imagine. 3, 2, 1, bop.
Dude,
Redemption
you know how
does
much
not
redemption
come in.
Costs? Because it's more than 350.
No, he was at 430.
Oh, he must have spent it right when I looked then. He made a mangonel.
I was counting, dude. I did the math. I did the math, but he wasn't on time. It's about to come in now. Yeah, exactly. He's a little bit busy with the Eagle raids, but Winchester is still pushing, and I want to go to his point of view. I want to see what he's fully focusing on here, if possible.
That's
As we
Nicov.
see, that's Nikov's point of view. Nicov trying to micro down the mangonels. He gets one. He can't get the other one here as the Eagles are still raiding underneath his TC.
Oh, man. Notice what he can't do, though. He can't really farm. And this is Winchester's point of view. He's gone to purple just to screw with all of us so we can figure this out on our own. But just look for the Eagles, look for the monks, and there's a lot of forward focus for Winchester. A lot of defensive focus right now, but the monks!
What are you doing with the monks? No, the monks are all going down to the TC and the crossbows. And Winchester, you can tell he was focused somewhere else while that was happening.
Vinch can still win, though. That's the thing. Vinch can actually still win. If he didn't lose those monks, I prefer his position here. I know it's a Byzantine TC, but the Siege Workshop already went down. Nikov's economy is still a wreck, lots of idols, and that's his main gold and his secondary gold and his main stone right on this part of our screen.
Winchester really, really applying the pressure here to Nicov. Imagine how much more dangerous this would look with 5 extra monks involved in the army, but the Eagles are still getting value. Villager count still more or less even here. The fishing ship's not doing too much for Nicov in this situation. But Winchester, he's just got all the free res in the center. He's got access to the relics now, although Nicov looks to have grabbed maybe the ones in the south there.
Yeah, I honestly am unsure on how...
He's walled in the red.
I like that. Also, Nicov, by the way, the monks can still pick up that relic through the diagonal. So
yeah, I know. The walls are completely pointless.
I know, but like that's probably the only time Nikov's ever done that in his life, so... I just don't know how you change this, right? If you send the knight forward, the knight will get converted. If you make siege, it'll be converted, and you already lost your siege workshop. You almost have to just have God tier crossbow micro, but you only have 5. Nikov's in big trouble. This Aztec rush is crazy on this map.
Yeah, and it looks like the Aztecs are weirdly favored here against Byzantines on a water map. If you ask Hera, he'd say they're just playing it wrong, but he didn't, like I said, he didn't elaborate, right? We don't know how to approach this. From his opinion for the Byzantines, and another siege workshop here from Nicov in defense. He's just trying to survive long enough, but long enough for what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those villagers are now dead. He had to place something there to stop the Eagles from rushing through. Every time I look at Nikov's resources, it's looking worse and worse for him, and the idle time, I'm sure, is sky high. I mean, his TCs are constantly garrisoned, and now he only has 2 town centers. And the GG is called. Nicov with the score lead taps out, and that was an amazing recovery from Winchester, but maybe all part of his plan. You know, it's okay to lose water to the Byzantines on a map where there's a lot of fish, as long as you get that snowball rolling in the middle.
And maybe he knew that he was, you know, risking the archers coming in. If Nicov goes for the archer range, he got greedy. He went for the faster castle age time because he knew even if I take some eco damage from those archers, I will be able to snowball if I hit Castle Age first, and I have that middle position. Fantastic stuff from him. We have to go now into game 2, and Nikov's already down by 1. He's got Golden Swamp. He's got Hippo Arena. We can take a look at the drafts here. I would suspect we go on to like Hippo Arena because players usually like to pick that as their second map if they're down 1.
Most players do. I think Nikov's going to be terrified of the poles.
Okay.
And knows that Winchester's fairly good at it.
Does that change, though? You're always going to have to battle the poles on Hippo Arena.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just don't know if it's your bounce back, right? Like, it changes things because you don't want to go down 2 games. With the way the civs have panned out here, I think Nikov's going to go for either the Italians or the Vikings on Golden Swamp or Golden Lakes. Nicov has looked good on Golden Swamp. I think he had a game against Viper that he probably should have won, learned some lessons there, and then he had his game against, Jordan, I believe, where he beat Jordan on Golden Swamp. And my thing is, Nicov has played near perfect on Golden Swamp. The only thing is, he booms up to like 160 vills, and he forgets shipwright on Golden Swamp. If he goes to Golden Swamp, I think we might see the melee for Winchester, because Winchester gave me a little chat. Shout out to Dragonstar. He was saying Dragonstar kind of gave him that idea. Dragonstar, the best player in Age of Empires 2 from India, and a big
Going
strategist.
for the melee,
so,
yeah. And it was like he hit the timings at such a ridiculous pace.
Yeah.
Right? It was surprising. It's one of those games where you watch it. It's a civ you haven't seen before in the meta of this tournament. You watch it and you're going, how can anyone stop that?
Absolutely. And let's see. Oh, it is Hippo Arena,
It is
Dave.
Hippo Arena. I got a good feel for it. And it's Turks for Nicov. It's Poles for Winchester. We don't have any mix-ups here. He did have Burgundians as well, Nicov.
Yeah.
But he's chosen to go for the Turks here. The Turks, you know, if they get that forward pressure on the Poles, they can do damage. We've seen it a couple times already today, Yo and ACCM. And Yo almost had him. He almost had him, but ACCM, slot to privileges, managed to pull his way back into that game. We'll see if something similar occurs here, Nicov and Winchester. And I also want to take a look at the full work setup from Winchester, because some players, oh baby, they've been perfect.
Yep.
And they already have their whole base layout plan from the start of the game. I think Jordan had like 2 town centers right next to each other.
Yeah, that is the unique thing that we've seen, actually, is the 2 TCs right next to each other. It's so fun, you know, to get to sit here and watch the games when we're not casting. Because when Jordan was about to build his TCs, TaToH was like, do it. And then he built the TC. He was like, yeah, like freaking out like he, I don't know, like Spain won the World Cup or something. But probably not the same way, but on the same level anyways. I'll be honest, though. I think that we've seen enough examples where Turks can be strong in standard arena, but the Poles just seem to be near unstoppable on this map. I think the one matchup where the Poles lost was against the Mayans, actually. Just felt like Hera played out of his mind to beat the Poles. So with the Polish economy, normally the thinking is you need to pressure it. I'm wondering if here, especially after seeing how good Yo did with his pressure and still losing earlier, wonder if maybe Nicov just has faith in the Turk late game. Crazy cav archers with 100 HP, your own hussars, and even like bombard towers could be solid.
You know, Hippo Arena might be a good map for a game 2 after a loss, just because the beginning is so slow. So you got time to like mental reset.
Sure.
As well. I'm just thinking about like map selection. It's not something that we, like map order of selection, it's not something we talk about too often.
Yep.
Especially in a stressful environment like this. We do, because we have plenty of time before they engage, we do have time for our newer viewers at home, or maybe the people who aren't as big nerds as we are, because clearly we know every single value on all of these Civ selections here. As Duck Persistence comes in with $555. Oh my goodness!
I thought it was. I was gonna be like, stop blocking the text. Thank you. That's
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, we have numbers here.
Yeah,
Villagers regenerate, full work. We get 8% of the food from a farm when you drop it, and it gives 5 population. Stone miners generate gold in addition to stone, so you get 20%, basically access to 20% more gold than the your opposing Civ. And then, of course, the Turks on this side, we know what they can do. Gunpowder, gunpowder, gunpowder.
I actually didn't know until this very moment that the scout line of the Poles got +1 attack versus archers.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Did you actually know that?
Yes, I did.
I don't believe you at all with the face you're making. Yeah, I mean, tack on another bonus for the Poles, I guess. But we'll see if Nicov goes to stone here. And if he doesn't go to stone right now, we'll see where his second and third town center ends up going. Oh, my goodness. He's actually adding a barracks.
He's adding a barracks, okay.
So that means he'll likely go for a stable for map control. again, a little bit off from what other people have been doing. We have seen some players go scouts, of course, but the majority of players, when I'm speaking to them, watching them play at NAC4, they seem to feel like the relics are just really far away, and the players need more economy on this map. So.
Speaking of relics really far away, usually the relic in the top left is up in like the ear of the hippo.
Okay.
This time it's like right outside Nikov's face.
It's like an earring.
Sure, yeah. It's like the earring I had when I was 18, and I thought it was super cool, you know?
Wow, that's the first time I got that knowledge.
Yeah, I did used to have an earring.
It's all right. I, too, used to think I was cool. And then I grew up and realized I'm not. So.
And then I lost my hair and realized that things were...
I mean, to be fair, if you put the earring in again, I'm sure everyone would like it, and it would distract from the lack of hair on your head.
Yep, maybe. Market right next to the TC here from Winchester, and you can build everything next to the TC as the poles.
Nice.
He's going to go market blacksmith as well, so he's not going to contest the center of the map. Wants to put all of his resources into more full works and all of his upgrades, especially the second farm upgrade early in Castle Age. Nicov bringing his scout back inside. You want to save that scout until Castle Age when it automatically upgrades to a light cap, but he is adding a stable, so it's a market stable play for him, and he's going to go for that extended map control, also going out to stone. And I like going into the stable if you're going for that castle drop.
This is super YOLO.
Yeah, we've seen people like get away with the castle drop blind with no support whatsoever, but I think it's just way more consistent. And also, once your castle breaks through the wall, you will have units to come in and actually harass your opponent.
And this is a way to ensure that that castle goes up, a way to ensure that you deny your opponent from expanding. The only downside to this, because some people are probably like, well, that sounds pretty good to have scouts for map control and also a gunpowder unit. Why doesn't everyone do it? Well, the reason is because it's just so expensive, right? Like, Nicov doesn't have any eco upgrades at the moment, and then he's going to be sending probably like 8 to 10 villagers forward. So it does come at a cost. The hope, obviously, is you break through, get a lot of control, and kill quickly. And I'm not liking... Considering what we know, I'm not liking the positioning of the full works for Winchester.
Bro, there's space for 2 over there in the corner. There's another one up in the stone. Vodka's trying to follow where I'm pointing at the screen, but he's over on the other side of the room. There's space for full works that will not be within range of your opponent if he goes for that. Thank you. Thank you for the hippo arena.
Oh, I see. You did it on the wrong ear, production. Come on.
Hippo arena.
Not your best work, but I appreciate it.
I thought it was pretty good.
I appreciate the
I thought it was
effort.
pretty good.
Well, we have scouts attacking. Does the scout see that gold there? I guess the gold is always there, right? Every single generation has that 4-tile gold there, so you should aim to put your castle nearby there. Nicov did get loom.
Dude, there's so many bears here.
So
many bears.
Is this what it's like when you walk outside in Canada?
In Canada, yep. Yeah. This is what it's like.
All right, here we go.
And there's a fourth bear, and the bear don't care here as they all engage. The bears are here on purpose just for stuff like this, right? As you're forced to spend some time killing them, but
Dude,
4 dead bears. The castle's going to go up here.
Nicov.
Can he see it? Winchester bringing his scout over. He sees a villager. He knows exactly what's happening.
I hate this castle spot with a passion.
Okay.
Because you invested into Lightcap for map control.
Tell me about it. Okay,
You know your opponent's not going to have army.
Yep.
And then you just place this rinky-dink castle.
Yeah, let it all out,
let's
bro.
surprise them.
Dude, let it all out.
Place it against the wall.
Oh, tell me more.
I'm done. but
sometimes you just got to let you rattle
my point stands, though. If you invest into all this and you have 0 eco upgrades, you got to place it against the wall.
Yeah, and?
That's it. That's the point. That's the whole point.
So are we? I'm unclear on this. Are we putting this castle against the wall, or are we thinking like a little bit like? Is it go? You think it should go against the wall?
It's an idea, maybe. Because, you know, maybe if the castle was a little closer, then Winchester wouldn't be able to place the tower and wouldn't be able to do all these things. But look at Vinch. He's got 0 farmers on the full work farms anymore. He's going for a tower. He's going to try his best to block this off. I'm worried that the guy might not have loom. I'm wondering if maybe we could have a double check on that He doesn't have Bloom.
Oh my God, he's got to get this wall down right now. He gets it. He somehow gets it, but the Janissaries are here, and those non-loomed villagers are, what, 2 hits away from death if the Janissaries actually hit their shots.
Yep.
There's no opportunity for another castle here because 23 stone in the bank there from Nicov, and his villagers are looking extremely confused. With the Janissaries, he will eventually get through there, and he also has the option to go for a petard and maybe punch through in a different area. His food eco, super strained though, and this is the thing about the scouts into castle build. You see value from the light cap right now if they ever get through, but he doesn't have the food eco to back it up.
I do like though how this is completely disrupted an easy boom, and while Winchester will have more villagers, it's not at all playing towards the Polish bonuses here. So this is good.
Tristan, you know what I think would have really helped Nicov?
The castle
here?
on the wall.
I think if he put that
Thank you. Because I'm pretty sure if he would have researched fletching too, he would be shooting down the initial tower. That would have been fantastic. Nikov's just running in. He does this, Dave, but he didn't place the castle on the wall. You see my point?
Yep.
This is crazy.
He's coming in, dude, and the villagers will take out the towers. They actually have looms, so they're not getting a lot of damage, and the light cav are prowling around looking for villagers from Vinch. Does Vinch have loom yet? Does he have loom yet?
He did get it.
Okay, he does.
And the villagers are beastly. What can I say? They're going to take out that tower. Here come the Janissaries, and Nikov's like, that was a great idea. Let's try this again.
Winchester goes in that tower full well knowing that there's no way those villagers are going to survive, dude.
Maybe
one.
one.
That's a reflex garrison right now. He knows those guys are dead unless the Janissaries pull away.
Yeah, Nicov saw the other tower.
They're alive.
He saw the other tower, got really excited. What do these villagers do now? They're just going to go mine that gold, and Nikov's just going to sit here and make life as awkward as possible for Winchester.
And Vinch knows that the eco, he sees all these vills. He knows there's light cav. He knows there's a castle. He knows the eco for Nicov is not there. Like, it's just not there. So if you're ever in this position, you just want to kind of weather the storm and keep your economy expanding without over-committing into defense.
Absolutely.
But it's such a fine line to walk. And look at what Nicov is doing even over here. He's seen another full work. He's going to stand ground his Janissaries over here on the farms and on the gold. And next to the monastery, like you said, so the monks can't even pop out.
Yep, I like this. And the other light cap standing. This is actually a situation where having the APM that Nicov has can sometimes be bad for you. You found the spots.
Now just patience.
You don't need to over micro here. You'll eventually take out a town center. You're going to add the siege, which is great. But you don't need to bring 6 villagers to build that siege workshop, Nicov. You know, just stay on the gold.
Bro, what else are they doing?
Well, the gold's really helpful, actually.
Okay.
But
the siege workshop is great too, and that's why he's focusing it down. We've got Janissaries still sitting there. Nicov right now, like you said, just needs to stay put and basically hope that his units can hit their shots.
Yeah, and Vinch needs to hope that the monks can get conversions. He's gone 3 monasteries.
It comes out. Do they hit their shots? They miss every shot. They're still missing shots.
Nicov notices this.
Ooh, this is huge. Winchester's trying to escape. He walls behind, and Nikov's like, that's a cute wall, bro. As he tries to get the conversions. They're missing literally every shot, but the monk goes down.
Yeah, monk not really able to get the conversion. These 2 villagers will be a nice distraction, I guess. And there's a chance they'll survive for quite a while here, but they will eventually die. Nikov's all in, working so far. But both players below 10 on food at the moment, so Imp might be pretty far away.
Yep, and this is just the unfortunate story of gunpowder units. You miss 100% of the shots that you actually take.
That can be true at times.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it, as we got a Wild West gun battle going on over there to the right side. One player microing, one player not.
The scout's a beast. The scout's
coming
a beast.
after the Janissary. He wins the 1v1 against the scout, though. Janissaries do win that 1v1, and it looks like those villagers are getting cleared up. Rams now able to focus down that town center in the north, and we're looking at the villager count right now. Nikov's kept his TC running behind this. Only 48 seconds of idle TC time with an all-in like this is wild.
And Vinch is trying to get conversions here. He's got to be so careful. Monks are so expensive. He's lost so many.
They hit their shots. They hit their shot. He's in the TC.
Yeah, now you just dive underneath that TC. The second it is, well, not the second, is about to go down. Probably the second it goes down if you're Nicov. So let's see if he can judge it correctly. He's gone for a Mangonel too.
doesn't have redemption. Winchester can't afford redemption, so the Mangonel can't be converted yet, and the Janissaries can just kind of kite those monks into that fire. As the Rams are being pulled away, villagers under the TC. This is looking so messy for Winchester.
Oof, yeah, and the Mangonel kills his own Rams. Monks coming out, the light cabs on the way. So much is going to die here, but there's still going to be so much remaining for Nicov.
He only got one conversion there. That was like max timing on all of those. He only got one conversion.
Painful.
If he had gotten 2 Janissaries, he could have focused on the Mangonel, but of course there was another one coming out. He is going for a TC, so rat mode engaged here for Winchester. He's just trying to survive anywhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. I assume Nicov just thought that he killed the Vills because he's been so distracted here. But I'm not sure if those villagers are going to make all the difference. It feels like if Nicov just dives now, if he goes to the right now and stops these things from escaping, that's the Vill difference.
There's another castle coming.
Oh, boy.
Is there a wall that he can potentially put this castle against? I heard how important it was earlier, and the villagers are now running right through the gunfire. GG, what a play from Nicov. It's just all-out aggression, even using his villagers to attack in the process of it. That was a really big commitment, and the most important thing for me is that he kept his TC running behind that.
And he didn't need to place the castle on the wall in the first place. It was great. How crazy was that, though? He rushed down multiple towers with villagers. It's like a weird game sense thing, because I'm sure he hasn't faced up against that situation before, but he knew his opponent couldn't go for murder holes or guard tower in that instance. And, you know, I think one thing to come back to, if there's question marks for Winchester, you never make your full works on the front. If you have your full works on the back there,
then you can just stonewall. Like, you don't have to go for those towers forward, the houses forward. You can stonewall and buy yourself some time, maybe go for a siege workshop or something, even if it, or monasteries behind the wall. Even if they don't feel perfect against Janissaries, you have to buy yourself time. And the full works being forward meant that he had to defend that position, and it got really ugly really quickly. Absolutely.
Great game there. Series 1-1. Many people think this is going to go to the 5th game. Worth reminding everyone, because it's pretty unprecedented, pretty crazy. Winchester in the 4 rounds before this went 3-2 in every single game. Now, he lost 3-2 for most of those. I'm trying to remember now. I believe he's currently 1-3. Yes, he must be 1-3. So for him, he's hoping if this does go to a game 5 that he ends up winning this series. Winchester will get to choose which map we see next. I'm thinking maybe Outcrop could be on the cards. I know he loves his melee, so he could go Golden Swamp, even though it's on Nikov's side. And then Golden Lakes is his final option.
We are up now past $60,000 in the prize pool.
Nice.
So that's an additional 10 to what we started with. Coming into this week, all donations go towards that prize pool. Thank you so much, guys, for the donations flying in. I apologize, we can't mention all of them, but we're focused on the games here. Nicov playing as Ethiopians here on Outcrop, and we've got Winchester playing as the Gajaras. This is a very interesting Civ matchup.
It is, yeah. I recall seeing Britons. I recall seeing Mayans. And both of those civilizations play into a lot of archers.
And they were banned, I believe, both of those in this draft, I think.
Interesting.
Britons was definitely banned. I know that.
Okay. But Ethiopians was not something I expected. I welcome it. I'm excited for it. We have 4 bans on this day, or this stage, so very helpful to incorporate more civilizations, Dave. But with the Ethiopians, they receive plus 100 food and plus 100 gold when they arrive to each age. Their archers fire faster. We could talk about the other things too, but honestly, I think those first 2 things are the most important things here for Nicov. For Winchester, there's actually a whole bunch of bonuses. The unique techs, both very relevant. Maybe not Frontier Guards, because I don't think we'll see camels. But I think the economy for the Gajaras is simply better than the Ethiopians. The Shravamsha Riders, the Skirmishers, the Chakrams. It's a little bit worrisome if this goes late if you're
you have, as you see him bringing in the cows, I think there's 8 cows on either side here on these little outcrop areas. And you can bring those in and garrison them in your mill. You get that passive income. So I'd love to see Winchester go out there early, which he's done, instead of pushing the deer. I've seen some people pick Gajaras on this map, and then they spend the first 5 minutes pushing in deer. It's like, bro, why are you even picking this Civ in the early game? Maybe if you want to go for a super tight build, but it feels like you have the opportunities to snag all that extra livestock early.
Yeah, quick reminder, Vinch wins. Vinch will go top 8. Which means he moves on past the groups, and Jordan is out. If Nicov wins, Jordan is top 8, and Winchester is out. So big ramifications. Jordan is currently playing ping pong And seems like he's paying attention to the results here as well.
Oh, he's super focused. Yeah, he's locked in. Absolutely locked in. I think he just doesn't want to watch. He's too nervous.
No, Jordan can't sit still, guys.
Yep.
Right? Like, I have not seen Jordan, besides playing his games, I have not seen Jordan just sit and not move for more than like 30 minutes. So I think he's just like trying to be Jordan, you know? Ay.
Camel here from Winchester at the back of Nikov's base. Nicov has a lot of area back there. If we just look at the map generation and we look at the amount of land up on this high area, he probably has double the amount of land of Nicov. That does mean that Nicov is actually closer to the outskirts, which can be valuable, but there's a lot of wood available and a lot of area to back up there for Nicov.
Okay, so Nicov making militia, and he will be going for man-at-arms. So scouting for Nicov will be important to see here, because I saw a lot of red on the sides. I know Nicov was probably trying to get some extra sheep and cows as well. You can see a couple there. Including qualifications, this is the first sighting of Ethiopians on Outcrop. Gurjaras, on the other hand, are 6-2, and their only 2 losses are to the Mayans. Interesting stats there. But yeah, Nicov doesn't know where his opponent is because he hasn't confirmed it.
Okay, he has seen the timing on them. So the barracks will tell you what's happening, but the timing is important.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see a villager die there, but you know your opponent hasn't had the barracks a little bit earlier. But the nice thing about being greedy on this map and spending your time trying to find sheep and cows is that the positions are fixed. So if you're in the south, your opponent's in the north, it's almost always a straight line. Same with east to west or side to side, so it's pretty easy to pick up on it later.
Yeah, just follow the green terrain.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll get to your opponent as the militia come in. He's looking to place a production building. It comes in just on time. No way that's going to be denied, and the walls are in. There's still an open area on the right side, but it's going to take a lot of time for Nicov to stretch over to that side. His men-at-arms now come in, and the Camel Scout in Feudal Age is going to win that battle against the Scout from Nicov. So Nicov needs to run away as Winchester tries to go for the house wall. It doesn't get in time.
No, he doesn't. Now, not having the Scout here kind of hurts the effectiveness of the man-at-arms. Nicov confirms the TC there and backs away. But he is actually looping the Scout back. He somehow avoided Winchester's Camel Scout, which just kind of stopped running, and he hasn't noticed because he's so overwhelmed at the moment. Nicov, he's got some opportunities here. He sees some villagers. He sees that one. Winchester, let's see if he can save this. Nicov blocking with the one on front, but no, he's just going to keep moving here.
Ooh, tough for Nicov. That's the second house that hasn't quite made it up in time, but he's managed to take no damage yet. The men-at-arms are in the back, so they're going to be slightly annoying here.
So many villagers.
But Winchester does have a archer range, so he should be able to clear this up.
Nicov just itched his nose right when he was microing the man-at-arms and still had pretty good micro.
It's amazing to see, like, some players have tics, right? Like, they'll do something every so often, they'll lean back, ACCM scratching his forehead. And it's stuff that you don't think you do, but then you probably watch yourself. Yeah, you're doing this stuff without realizing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I also did notice Winchester taking sheep out of his mill here. So choosing to have the immediate food, you could call it, instead of the long-term, slow, passive income you can get from the mill.
He couldn't get out to that gold, so that's why he didn't go for archers from the archer range. He's going to save the gold for now. Maybe could justify going for one archer, but I feel like skirms are just doing enough here, especially with your Camel Scout at full HP. And the men-at-arms, other than a little bit of idle time, haven't been able to get any kills just yet. KD's still 0-0. He's trying to get damage on the skirms, but good defense here for Winchester.
Yeah, really interesting game. Like, Nicov clearly wants to pull this army back and try and find some damage, but it feels like anywhere that he will go with the archer follow-up, there's going to be skirmishers nearby. But Nicov is amazing with his Feudal Age control. He's got fletching on the way, something that Winchester can't do because he doesn't have a blacksmith yet. And it is Ethiopian archers. They do fire faster. And Nicov ready, looking. Oh, does he know that's open? That's such a weird wall. I guess because he had to make makeshift walls.
Yeah. You're almost risking getting trapped coming in that way. Look at this micro here. Winchester getting the hits on the scouts and the skirmishers, getting damage on the men-at-arms behind. But that means that there's 5 unaccounted for archers somewhere from Nicov, right? And they could show up at any of your wood lines at any point. They could sneak in from behind. As we see, he did discover that hole.
He's pulling them away, kind of. He's trying to take the skirmishers this way. And now here he is. He's got fletching. Nicov, can he get a villager pick here? It feels like he definitely wants one after all this investment.
Oh, she survives, and the archers are going down. Disastrous situation here for Nicov. The men-at-arms just didn't survive long enough. He saw the archers coming in, and of course that villager on 1 HP, she will live to forge another day.
It really felt forced there, right? Like, you know you're going to eventually
You pull
lose.
them away as soon as you can't kill that Vill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you're
well,
hit.
I mean, just showing up there in general is surprising.
Ooh, I like
to
this. I like killing those Ibex a lot.
Yeah. Resources collected is higher for Nicov, but look at the food count for Winchester right now. Winchester's food count is something else.
And it's only going to keep ticking up and up and up. How many herdables does he have in the mill, if we can check?
6.
He's got 6.
6 cows, though.
And he took a bunch of those cows earlier, which a lot of times with Gajaras, you're not taking the herdables because you want them in the mill, right? So great stuff there from Winchester as Nicov now goes for a market. He is going to try and get up. Do you sell your stone here as Ethiopians? It's not really a civ. No. Sometimes, like I said with Liereyy, you know, the game, you speak to the game, you ask it a question, and it gives you an answer.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is absolutely, because I think Ethiopians have a horrible late game in comparison. If this is a closed map, then you can talk about the siege onagers and the bombard cannons, but I really think this is just going to be Nicov trying to pressure nonstop with crossbowmen, trying to hit a timing here. And so Nicov, low on archer numbers right now, only has 6, finds himself on the way to the next stage. With Vinch having 8 skirms, if he just plays safe, if he just waits for a lead skirmisher and plans towards eco, I think I prefer his position.
Yeah, Ethiopians need to do that damage early.
Yeah.
You will get a slight boost, though, because you'll get the gold and you'll get the food immediately, which means you can get the texting consistently, and also your crossbows will fire faster. So Winchester's going to have to stay at home, but I think as long as Nikov's not doing any eco damage to Vinch, he's going to feel very comfortable in this situation, especially with the 200 stones still in the bank. So he can stretch out as soon as he picks a good fight, or if he identifies where the army is from Nicov, he can stretch his legs onto that other area with the stone and with the gold.
Absolutely. Nikov's kind of stopped making archers there.
Ooh,
he was on 6 archers when he clicked up the castle age. He could have about 9 or 10 right now. So it's going to be less effective archer push here. But he does have the stable. Ethiopians lack bloodlines. They lack the final armor. So this is very much just an inclusion to set up the archer play, to trade against those skirms. But I think if those skirms just fall back behind their walls right now, it should be completely fine for Vinch.
Is there a stable for Winchester yet? I don't believe there is, right? Usually we'd see one coming down right about now for Travamshes. Yeah, he's going to be like, wait a second. Where did those archers come from again?
I also like how he spotted an archer earlier. He's a little paranoid on the back of the woodline, which is why he's kind of looking for those archers to come around. And come around they do. The skirms might run into them, but they will be upgraded. There's crossbow, there's bodkin arrow, and there's Nicov, 2 knights on the way.
Don't
Nicov,
lose
be
numbers
careful.
here. Don't lose numbers. He's looking, and he's going to lose a couple archers.
Really rough
spot.
spot.
Wow, he split away. He split again.
That's beautiful.
Wait a second, Nicov. How do you get out of there with all of your archers intact? What on earth was that? I thought the angle was impossible.
Yeah, he's not going to make it any easier with 3 more crossbows on this side, but there is a knight on the way. And this is the Nicov people have been getting hyped about at NAC4. Maybe bad timing on the comment, but it could have been worse.
It could have been worse, and here comes the knight. And he took 2 skirmishers with with those crossbows anyway. As Winchester deletes the wall, he's going to let the knight inside, and the crossbows are going to come into his woodline. That was insane to save those numbers there.
Yeah, and now Vinch, to save his skirm numbers, which is probably the correct move, has deleted a hole here. So he deleted the house, and elite skirm's on the way. Love the pressure here from Nicov. Remember, though, he is on the clock. He's getting ballistics for 7 crossbows.
Well, I mean, you're Ethiopians, right? Even though you only have 1 range now, you're going to have more.
Yeah, you'd think so. Really.
Also, you want it, like, if you're in this position and you're pushing the skirms back with your knights, you want to have units that can consistently snipe bills like that.
Yep.
Like
Dude,
that woman running away right now.
This is going to be so micro-intensive here for Nicov. I'm tempted to switch to his POV, but I don't want to miss anything here. Look at the side-to-side there. Crossbows are getting picked. The knight will get a couple pickoffs here, but at the end of the day, Vinch is still on 2 TCs.
Yeah, he's tossing away crossbow numbers. Maybe had a little bit too much faith in that knight that just died to the TC, and Winchester is defending for now. Nicov needs to add another range. I mean, he can't just keep producing from 1 archer range. He's trying to add another TC now, but he sold his stone in preparation for really aggressive castle age, and that's just not panning out for him.
You know, it's worth mentioning that Gurjaras, while they have good Castle Age skirmishers, they're not the best skirmishers ever. And typically they want to play through their stable units. We haven't seen that yet for Vinch, but I think Vinch is happy enough to have weathered the storm. Only losing 2 villagers to Nicov, of all people, in early Castle Age as Ethiopians makes you feel pretty comfortable.
Nicov, add an archer range. Add another archer range, please. Please. He's adding. Okay, that's fine. You want to invest your wood into that. I just look. I see 6 crossbows queued right now, Tristan. Imagine if he had that second one when he hit Castle Age.
Well, I will go to Nikov's POV now. Watch this. Nicov, he is in the blue on his screen here, but he doesn't look home. That's the thing. Like, he does not look at his eco at all. It's full micro all the time. He knows his opponent doesn't have ballistics, so he's just trading against a counter unit. Weak one, bop. I'll take that too. And so this is just how Nicov plays. We still haven't seen him. Hey, there we go. Let's see a couple farms. Okay, that's enough time spent there, right? It's just crazy focus, and he can kill so many people with this approach. I
mean, he can see that he only has 4 on food.
Yeah.
And so he knows that he needs to start applying the pressure. He needs to start killing villagers, because right now Winchester is ahead with 7 villagers in the queue. Winchester also has enough wood for a siege workshop of his own, and it's going down on the right side, along with a lot more farms. The food disparity is going to get pretty big here.
We missed a big shot there.
Big mangonel shot there from Nicov on those skirmishers. Maybe we can get our eyes on that in a second as Nicov pushes in now.
Don't lose the knight. Don't lose the knight. Deletes the knight. That was so good. Because if he loses the knight, he would have lost the mangonel to it. Ay, crazy moments here. Nicov, again, pressuring YOLO just like he did in the previous game. Has 2 TCs.
It has actually a 3rd TC coming up. I'm surprised with that, but it's over on the left side with one of the forward villagers. So I guess Nicov just wants to expand his control, and it's also, you know what, it's also likely that Winchester goes out that way. Winchester's 0 on gold right now, Tristan. He's trying to get that TC up on the right side so he can get some gold access.
That would look really bad if he loses control over the game, because then Winchester will have army and it will take care of that. But you're right, it does help you have vision over your opponent when you're trying to be as aggressive as you are.
Oh, Vince should delete that farm, bro.
Yeah.
You don't keep that. Like, he seeds another one so he can consistently get the crop shots on the
That's auto farm right there. Yeah. Auto farm is like, I need to build a farm, and here I go. You need a good mangonel trade here shortly here for Winchester. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
Dude, beam me up into that TC, says Winchester. He's going to keep hopping in and out with the skirmishers as soon as Nicov gets close. Yep, he takes a few shots, and then he's back in again, still repairing that town center. We've seen a lot of that in this tournament as he comes forward with his first mangonel now.
This is it, Nicov.
One crossbow, though, doing a great job scouting. Mangonel moonwalking into a fight. It's going to get that first hit, but isn't quite enough to clear up the mangonel from Nicov.
Styling, here we go. Oh, there you go, Winchester. He needed that.
Dude, delete the farms. Delete them. You don't want to give your opponents a target and give them extra range.
I can agree with you on that one, Dave.
It's crazy.
You know what else is crazy is how we're seeing a 4th TC right now for Vinch. It's like he's planning on losing this one. And Nikov's micro is crazy. How does he do everything he's doing right now? This is crazy. He's got town centers. He's got
gas
micro.
Him up. Dude, let him cook, Tristan. Just let him cook, all right? Don't gas him up, because right now everything you're saying isn't really working out for him, as he does end up getting a snipe on the villager.
Vinch's micro also insane in defense here, still maintaining decent eco. 72 versus the 63. You got 44 on wood for Nicov. A moment ago it was 40 on wood for Winchester. They are both so focused on their armies and not their economies.
That's a beautiful outpost if he gets it finished. Ooh, Winchester with the maximum range attack ground there. Almost got the mangonel. Still microing the skirmishers like a beast. And Nicov loses another mangonel, and he might lose this one too. He takes one little shot back. That's a warning shot across the bow, and he's able to escape, coming around with the other crossbows. I wonder if he sees the town centers to the right side.
Woo, that eco is really rough for Nicov right now. Like, that is, I mean, again, 40 on wood for both. It is painful to look at. But a close game here, Dave. I give the edge to Winchester now. He's weathered the storm. We know the Gurjaras are great in the long run. Nikov's selling about 600 wood.
Horse collar, though.
Yeah, there you go, before he seeds a few more farms. But what do you do now as the Ethiopians? The skirms counter you so easily. Your stable units are very weak.
Yep. I mean, the crossbows just don't seem like they're going to work, right? The crossbow approach right now, maybe you need to mix in like a desperation forward castle or something as he's trying to convert the knight. Good delete there from Nicov, but he's losing a mangonel. And Winchester will be holding here, folks, at least in the castle age. I would say, like, at this point in the game for Nicov, you try something a little bit aggressive, like a castle or something, but he doesn't have any on stone.
Yeah.
No opportunity for something like that.
The reality is I think you still go crossbow mangonel, hope it works, but spend a little bit more time back at home placing farms.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of wood, right? So we could see him drop 20 farms.
Yep. Yeah, and your opponent hasn't shown you a stable unit yet. That's actually what Vinch needs. He needs 1 or 2 stables because a couple Shravamshas clear up the archers, and they also end up clearing up the siege. There's no monks for Nicov, which is your typical addition to this type of push. Nikov's going to see these town centers, and he's going to think, crap, man, I thought I had kept him away from the other side and thought he wouldn't be bold enough to take the right side, but Winchester's been there a long time on the stone and gold.
Imagine watching someone play Gujaras, and they don't make a stable.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, but Vinch knew that if he went camels, the crossbows will be there to snipe them down. If he went like Shravamshas, it wasn't going to be enough, right? Because he was investing into the skirms at the same time. So fantastic recognition there from Winchester. I wonder if Nicov actually gets his outpost up. He loses one mangonel. Winchester pushing forward. He's going to get another mangonel and a
good
third.
For Vinch because he realized the first shot did damage to 2 of them, used the skirms to finish the job on the right. Winchester, remember, he needs to win this series. If he wins this series, then he stays alive and is coming out of the group stage. If he loses this series, then he is out and Jordan is in.
Lots of farms here from Nicov. He's up to 31 on food, so it's respectable, right? It's not like a complete all-in fail here. He does have economy behind, but Winchester has been focused on his economy this entire game, and Winchester will now go for a castle on the right side. Pretty much unassailable now in the castle age. If you're Nicov, you're going to have to get up to Imp at some point, but you're trying to keep the 3 TCs running. And you're trying to get your eco upgrades, which means you're investing food, which you can't put into Imperial Age.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then it's a big question of will you have army momentum when you're there? Is your civilization good enough to really compete there? I think on this type of map, where mobility is so important, your Jaras have the edge, which is why Nicov went so aggressive. Now it's a fallback plan. He was hoping the game wouldn't get to this stage. It has become that type of game for him, though.
And it's getting annoying, too, because, like, all these forward buildings that Winchester is killing, like, he kills the houses and you're housed, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's just everything is a frustrating element to this game as he raids the farms. That's a good little raid there from Nicov, but it is little. It's not a huge blow to Winchester's economy, and Vinch is looking like he's going to be the first one to click up to Imperial Age.
How long until Vinch finds that TC from Nicov on the left?
I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm looking at the setup over there from Nicov, and Ethiopians have more vision on their outposts. Can we just... you know what? That's a good setup over there. He knows immediately if Winchester heads over to that left side, so he can focus all his attention on the main base and the stuff on the right.
We see light cav from Nicov. Good and helpful against skirmishers, good against monks as well. And you do lack bloodlines, but he is going to have +2 armor when he shows these things. So could surprise Winchester, who's now starting to make Shravamshas. And the Shravamshas, we've been waiting for this. They're going to take out the siege, no problem.
Yep. Nicov making the decision to just... Jordan being a cheerleader, of course, in the back. Nicov making the decision to just wall in his villagers and abandon those mangonels. Did get a good attack round, but unfortunately for him, Shravamshas can also dodge 50 stones at the same time.
Yeah, look at this, though. The light cav are now going to surprise. I like this from Nicov, man. I mean, I know it's not looking great for him, but really putting up a fight here. He's got a lot on food. He's thinking about Imp. He will maintain some control there.
Ooh,
this is either good.
Those light cav need to go over there. If you're Nicov, those light cav need to beeline over to that area because there's monks there, and if you kill the monks, then you have an opportunity there's skirmishers there. If you kill those, you have an opportunity to deny this castle. He doesn't have stone for a castle of his own.
Oh, boy.
But he does have units around.
It's just 3 light cav, though. Can he get there in time?
No, I don't think so. And it's an easy wall off, right, for Winchester?
Yeah, I mean, that castle's going to go up, which means you have so much exposed eco in the long run here. Just compiling the issue of this game.
Kshatriyas is also in, so production really begins here for Winchester. And look at the food eco for Winchester, Tristan. It's ridiculous. 65 on farms.
It's crazy. Yeah, he doesn't even have that much on gold. And the other thing is, too, is he won't spend as much food on his units after that unique tech he just finished. I genuinely think that Winchester could just go light cav, Castle Age upgrades, and he could win this game because there's just so many open spots on the sides that Nicov won't have control over.
Bro, he could just go like skirm.
Yeah.
With like Trebs. And he's in a position, right? But the barracks are coming up now from Nicov, so he knows it's going to be cavalry here. And he is still a minute and a half away from Imperial Age. Wheelbarrow finally coming in. Villagers dying down here. Nicov still doesn't notice, but it doesn't matter if he notices. Nothing to be done. Yeah,
because it's like not a part of your main eco when you look back home. So that TC is just creating all sorts of problems for Nicov. But I like the idea of the TC. The big thing wasn't necessarily the town center. It was just the fact he didn't have the crossbow numbers. He didn't do the damage he needed to do early. That was his strat.
Nicov needs to make sure that he keeps these crossbows alive because he needs an army that is not just the pikemen, but also the crossbows behind. Pikemen will get absolutely wrecked by the chakram throwers. So he needs something to counter the chakram throwers. Also needs walls because the Shravamshas have a lot of mobility, and you can see them already coming in here.
There's so many of them. They're so cheap, and they will probably force Nicov to tap out here shortly. Actually, no real upgrades here in Imp yet.
He's losing this army, but there is an army behind that he's thinking about raiding with. An elite Shravamsha is actually quite a good upgrade. I'm not sure if he has that yet, does he?
No elite, no final armor, getting the attack now. Vinch is just in cruise control, though. And so he just needs to mass his army up here.
He's going for more skirms. He's not going chakrams immediately. He's going for more skirms. The Shravamshas are in, and that is incredibly exposed. Halberdier on the way here for Nicov. Winchester's still pushing, and Nicov just constant distractions everywhere. 157 villagers for Vinch and 76 on food.
Yeah, I was wondering what Nicov was thinking right now, and then right after that, I looked at our chat here, and someone just said, this unit really stupid, and that's actually probably what Nikov's thinking at the moment. I mean, he is making his best counter to it, which is the Halb. The Halbs will trade effectively, but unfortunately, the Chakram as well in combination is a problem. Winchester has 157 vills. Still has 6 more in queue, so he actually can't make that much army.
We talk to him all the time about villager numbers. He's like, I think it's perfectly fine, except in very rare circumstances, to boom up until you see you're at pop cap, and then you start deleting. Well, it's like you can always delete.
Well, when you're ahead this much, I agree with you, right? In a closer game, a bit more of an issue. I'm trying to find something to think about, talk about, because I think Nikov's very, very dead at the moment. He's got no siege to push with.
These are elite as well now.
Yeah, he's got no way to stop this unit and no way to stop a tech switch here. And he stopped Vill production now at 168, now that he's fully pop capped to 200. So he's got a good eco.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any momentum. It's just, or sorry, Nicov doesn't have any momentum. Winchester obviously has all the momentum here. Nicov has done a good job, like I said, keeping those crossbows alive. And he's going to upgrade potentially at some point, but doesn't have the food. The Shravamsha is still knocking at the door. Chakram, elite Chakram coming in. So the switch is on here for Vinch, and if those crossbows aren't careful against Chakram, they can just disappear in an instant.
Yeah, and no imp upgrades, right? They do have chemistry, but no Arbalest, no Bracer. Nikov's at the limit, trying to catch up on economy and also produce. But this is his push. This is his moment. He's got more army than Winchester does because Winchester's overboomed a bit. Looks like Winchester's just deleted a lot of villagers to free up pop space. But that fight, I know the Shravamsha's good. That's not actually the best engagement that he could have taken. Maybe giving Nicov a bit of an opportunity here, Vinchester.
And I don't know where these Chakrams are messing up, right? I haven't seen any of them here on the bottom side. Okay, there's a couple.
He's too many vills.
He's got a lot of villagers, and he has said to us multiple times, it's not a bad thing to have many, many villagers as long as you delete. And he hasn't really deleted that many. The Shravamsha's going down. He's still in a favorable position, though.
There's no way. Like, I honestly, even though a couple things have gone wrong here for Winchester. It still feels like the potential is all his here. We know that if he can get the numbers of Chakrams and Shrivamshas will destroy
Send in the Shrivamshas first, and then the Chakram follow-up, and if Nikov's not paying attention immediately, those crossbows are just dead right away. A Siege Elephant now makes its way into the technologies here for Winchester, and there's the Chakrams hanging out behind the Skirmishers.
Skirm is really good here. They'll kill the crossbows, and they will help out a lot with the helps. This is a very good fight now for Vinch. He'll lose a lot of units, but he can't afford to do it because of his lead.
Dude, he lost like 2 units. Those Chakrams. Who's losing units? Watch these crossbows. Bam! There they are, and there they go. Nicov without an army at all, and I think Nicov taps out there. Winchester with a fantastic performance. Nicov couldn't get the early damage that he wanted to get.
Yeah, Nicov and Winchester talking about this a little bit of a stretch for Nicov. Let's be honest, though. I think Nicov knew that game was over the second his push started to stall. That is a Civ pick from Nicov that put a lot of pressure on himself to kill, and so Winchester didn't have to be aggressive. He just had to soak up the pressure because of how ridiculous the Grajaras can be in late game.
What are they laughing about there?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Nikov's like, I hate that unit. And Vinch is like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I'm Nicov, I'm probably like, I looked at my eco and I had 6 farms and 45 on wood, and I knew it was dead, you know? But it's funny, though, because Winchester was at a similar state for a bit there. Anyways, Golden Lakes, Golden Swamp, lots of golds remaining for our series. If Winchester wins one more game, he is out of the groups. He is safe. He is in control of his own destiny. If he does that, Dave, unfortunately, Jordan is bottom 2, and Jordan will not move out of the group stage. 2 of our biggest names and 2 fan favorites, so we'll be sad for one group of fans, or all group of fans, because how can you not be fans of both?
I think Nicov will have something planned against Malay on Golden Swamp.
Yep.
I don't know if that's with the Italians or with the Vikings, and I assume that's the map we're going to, because he wouldn't have not sniped Malay if he was that worried about that Civ pick on Golden Swamp, even with how dangerous Vinch looked with them before.
He actually got rid of Mongols, which is what Nicov has used himself on that map.
Yeah.
So I believe he actually feared the Mongols more than the Malay, if that's the ban.
Yeah, probably.
And honestly, I think the reason for that is because I think Mongols shape up very nicely against Vikings. So I think he will go Vikings Golden Swamp and then save Italians for Golden Lakes. For Nicov, if you're going to win the series,
I think it's
you got to play both.
Maybe on Golden Lakes. Might be Burgundians, and then it might be like, I don't know if Vikings match up so well against these super fast uptimes for Malay. Like if you go for full galley production to secure the water, and then your opponent's up to Castle Age 2 minutes before any other Civ would be, and they're hitting you with fires, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like Vikings definitely on paper should have some problems on Golden Swamp against Malay.
If you get late game, it should be fine.
Absolutely. It'll probably just be a bunch of Navy and Trebuchets.
It's probably something we completely don't expect. And Nicov has gone for the Vikings, and Winchester has kind of mind-gamed him a little bit.
Ooh.
He's gone for Malians. Is it going to be some sort of unique opening here from Winchester? I could see, like, even if he thinks Nikov's going for fish, he goes for, like, that 2 militia drush kind of strat.
Maybe. I don't think this has happened. But, like, Nicov sets the map, right? He probably hosted. In Winchester's mind, is it possible that he saw Golden and in the heat of the moment thought Golden Lakes because it has the same start to the name?
So.
No?
That, dude, I don't see so.
Okay, I'm just saying because I'm going to see how Malians plays out here. I'm very surprised because Malians are very flexible on Golden Lakes. And if Nicov wins here, that's exactly where we'll go.
And, of course, Malians are really, really good on these hybrid maps here. We've got the Civ overview for you. And the best thing about Malians and hybrid maps is that buildings cost minus 15% wood, except farms. And that means that you can get the docks down earlier because it costs less wood, and you can get more ships out.
Yep. And if you're relying on Navy in the long term here, Vikings are superior because Vikings get bracer, but also Vikings have the cheaper docks, which is fantastic. And they don't need to get shipwright, right? They don't need to do that. They already have warships being cheaper. So, you know, I'm thinking that what you said is true, Dave. I think that for Winchester, he's going to need to use the flexibility of the Malians and just switch it up and just not go for water the entire time.
Yeah, important note as well, Vikings don't get fire ships, so it's hard for them to hit the transitions immediately, neither fire galley nor fire ship. So if your opponent's dock, if they're playing Malians and their dock is right next to yours, it's incredibly hard to mass galleys. Micro has to be there the entire time. And if they get up to castle age faster than you, galleys die really hard to fire ships. As Winchester now looking around with his scout, trying to identify where the dock is from Nicov, but Nicov very cleverly hiding his dock in the center, and Winchester didn't spot that, so Winchester might be thinking, wow, he's not going for a dock here.
Maybe.
He's going for like a 2 militia drush into fast castle longboats or something. He needs to find that dock in the center.
Yeah, I think Nicov, it works out for him here. I think it just tried to locate the fish, because we've seen some instances where players don't have the fish close by. But it could have been some mind games.
Like, Vinch can't find it, bro. Look, he's still looking on the front here. He might end up missing it by, like, a tile.
I think on the bright side
Oh, my God, bro. He still can't find it.
On the bright side here, I've only seen one player ever really skip the water. Everyone else always goes water, so I think Vinch will just assume.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way.
He's already, dude, he's walling up. Look at this. He's walling up. He can't find the fish. He's walling up.
I think you could be right here. It could be the nerves of the situation, but it's probably because of what he doesn't see. And now he's going to go forward to forward dock, and he's going to be like, wait a second.
Oh,
my God.
Oh, no. Oh.
He sees it now.
He's going to be like,
Oh, okay. Well,
that's not good.
I don't want to like add to the curse here. Yeah. Every time Winchester has been 2-1 up, it has gone to the 5th game, okay? Every single time, 3 of those he lost in the 5th game, and then 1 he won in the 5th game. He broke the curse yesterday.
Bro, he's won every single best of 3. Bro, he is undefeated in best of 3s here.
That's true. That's a fair point. Here we go. Now, I think this is a small win for Nicov to just delay Winchester's dock. He's also going to kill Winchester's scout. There's no elevation on this map for that scout to run to. So losing your scout here is incredibly painful if you're Vinch. So scouting an area of weakness for Winchester, but he does have the forward dock directly next to where the galley production will be for Nicov.
Okay, we see Nikov's eco at home. A lot of bumping there from the villagers, but they're going to get it figured out as he brings in the herdables. And Winchester is walling up, but he's not fully walled. He kind of cut the walls as soon as he saw that dock.
Oh, boy, his fishing ships
but his fishing ships are already exposed. Already exposed here. And he goes for the galleys to snipe the fish from Nicov.
Yeah, and it's very common, actually, that both players lose fishing ships. And then it's just galley control and eco your way to Castle Age and adapt from there. So the longer that Nicov keeps those 2 fishing ships alive, the better for him, obviously. And again, you're in the dark right now if you're Winchester. The 2-1 ghost is haunting you right now. And there is a villager headed to the north.
Do you think that Nicov thinks those are fire galleys instead of galleys in the docks?
I think he would have come into this assuming a different civ, which maybe makes him question the fact that it's galleys. Like, everyone's been going galleys.
He's walling it off with a gate. Ooh. I think he can sneak out the corner, though, but those galleys are more likely to pop out on that side, and that's exactly what happened, but the gate didn't have enough HP. Nicov, you can see him. Look at, do you see that face? He just kind of shook his head, rolled his eyes. He was like, come on, man. I had it. I had it.
Now, there's a villager in the north for Winchester, which we'll eventually have to pay attention to. I also see blinking in Vinch's base.
Yeah, it's just an annoying scout. Almost got a villager with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Good job from Nicov to keep that alive. Nikov's fishing ships brought in more food than the fishing ships did for Vinch. And it's possible there will be more Navy in the long term for Nicov. However, Nicov loses 1 fishing ship.
Yep. What is that a market in the top corner? No, that's a barracks up there. So maybe Winchester thinking about some sneaky maneuvers from the top side.
Oh, and he's going to kill the scout.
Yep,
he's going to kill the scout. That's huge.
That's huge if he's going for a forward.
Yeah, and funnily enough, if that scout would have died 10 seconds ago, he would have probably just made the barracks at home, but he didn't want Nicov to see it.
Also, Winchester was in the process of getting horse color there, and then he canceled it.
Okay.
So I don't know if he is like trying to make up his mind.
No, he's fine.
No.
He's fine.
He can wall off the tiger even if it's weak. if he's paying attention. I mean, he still has to snipe down these fish from Nicov, and Nicov is pretty confident here. He's adding fish behind. Doesn't think these galleys are much of a threat, and why should he? I mean, he's killing them one by one as they come out here. Also, must be pointed out, Nicov has a wheelbarrow this entirety of Feudal Age.
Oh, man. This sneak, there's two trains of thought here. You either go early before they wall, if you're assuming they wall, or you wait till you've got enough to win the game, right? You wait till you have about 10. I prefer to get to 6 archers with fletching. Put yourself in a good spot to kill some bills, but now that your opponent has fish and they have Viking economy, you have to know you're going to be later to Castle Age if you're Winchester, so you might feel a bit more pressure than that.
Sneak archer range in the back there from Vinch. And he'll need to mass up like 2 or 3 before he comes in, so there's still a lot of time here for... See, sometimes you ask a question of the game, Tristan, and it answers you. There's still time for a wall.
Yep.
The wall might be up just on time before these archers come in, because Winchester will probably save them.
And this is what hurts so much, because it takes so long to get the archers out.
Yep.
If you deny the wall here...
He's not building the wall, though. Wait a second.
That's a fair point.
Hold on.
That's a fair point. We've asked for the wall. The game has not delivered.
Okay. Not building the wall yet. I wonder if that villager is shift-clicked somewhere. I hope it's not the same build that's building that wall at the front.
No, it's got to be a different one. I mean, there's plenty of villagers over there. Nikov's on the way to castle. If he just builds that wall, he's in a great spot to take us to a 5th game.
And there's the forward market from Winchester, so he's going to be able to buy himself up. And the villager... well... Tristan?
Will Vinch see that?
Vinch will see that. The question is, like, do you engage immediately against that villager?
No, you wait.
Answer is, well, yes. And he's going to take out this Vild. Nikov's going to be like, excuse me.
Absolutely.
What is happening here?
Okay, so Nicov had a decision to make in that moment on what to do, and he's gone for tons of houses, a couple palisades, and he's just going to have to make more walls here.
And he can't even buy stone for a tower because it's 200 stone he's going to need to buy. He doesn't have the gold immediately. Maybe he could buy stone for a town center once he's in Castle Age, but he's still 40 seconds away from that.
Absolutely.
And this is getting all sorts of messy as Winchester now buys food. He's on the way up to Castle Age. He's going to be 2 minutes behind, but Nicov will spend the first part of Castle Age just dealing with this, and he adds another layer to the maze here that is his economy.
That is the most cramped looking wall I've ever seen in my life. He added a stable, though, to make a knight. That's actually pretty epic here, I think.
Yep. But Archer doing the Winchester thing over here with one Archer sniping down the villagers. He's got another exposed villager over here that Nicov needs to run away with. Fortunately for Nicov, he does have handcart now, so his villagers can run away at top speed.
I mean, listen, this game normally goes late. It's not like anyone was going to end the game in early Castle Age. This has put Nicov in a position where his economy, even though he has the upgrades, is not as clean. And he's gone into Viking Knights. I actually think that this is perfect for Winchester.
This is a really good situation Winchester has made for himself, and he truly did make it for himself, going with the forward pressure. He's sacrificing his Castle Age time, and he's gone for the scout, and that's going to give him a lot of vision. It can also help against any siege that Nicov maybe wants to make, and it's going to give him some mobility to maybe block the villas too. As Castle Age is almost in. Yeah,
this is great for Vinch, because if Winchester just continues a bit of focus here, but just gets his economy going at home with some town centers, I think he will eventually surpass Nikov's economy. There's always plenty of creative ways to get back on water later on in this game. Oh, man. Now, I thought Knights was good originally because I assumed maybe armor would come in. But Knights without armor, they die pretty quick to Feudal Age archers, and Nikov's probably regretting that stable right about now.
Jordan must have the pom-poms out. Like, he's cheering his heart out right now. Like, come on, seriously. Nicov, you can recover from this. You're not done yet. Nicov does have handcart. He does have wheelbarrow, which Winchester does not have yet. And, of course, he got those automatically, so his economy should be better. But Winchester actually has more total res collected. It's going to take time for those upgrade advantages to really come into play. There's the Scorpion from Nicov as Winchester goes for a second and a third TC.
It's crazy to think that if Nicov would have just walled, how different this game would be.
And I'm sure Nikov's thinking that right now, right? Like he probably shift queued a villager there, and then he clicked them away by accident, and it just took too long.
Camel can get through there. There's actually a hole, and it's Nikov's intention here to use that Scorpion to kill the crossbowman.
It's idle economy everywhere. He's trying to wall that in. He does manage to kill the Camel. TC can't hit any of the shots, and the Camel escapes, but the Scorpion is going to be able to drive those crossbows away.
He can't actually take gold at the moment, which is kind of funny because he's controlling the gold. He could run into
What's going on here? Knights! Oh! Knights from Nicov in the economy from Winchester. He's only killed 2 villagers there, but it's a whole lot of idle time. And Winchester, it's his turn to panic as he goes for a town center.
If Nicov can just keep those alive and running around for a couple of minutes, this will stabilize this game. The food eco has just been, as you say, Dave, nuked by the Knights. And... you know, meanwhile, the crossbowman still around.
Still a hole.
But I'd like to see Nicov just send Vils to the middle right now and make a TC there.
Yep, or make another dock and expand your fishing eco. Like, do something with the wood that you have. And he's sending the Vils to the middle right there and making a TC potentially if he can buy the stone for it. Doesn't have enough gold yet.
Yeah, sell the wood, buy. You got plenty of wood, just sell some.
Mangonel's going to be super annoying at the back of his base, though, if Winchester goes for one. It can take care of those Scorpions.
He lamed his own space, by the way. Like, when he built up buildings here, he wasn't envisioning town centering. That's kind of funny. It's also kind of funny how Nicov thinks he's fully walled on the right side. There's actually a gap if units were to ever run around.
Reds collected 10.5k each.
Yeah, seriously, normally Vikings would be way ahead at this point.
Winchester, though, making things interesting with that forward, and he's still back there with the crossbows. I wonder if he's microing against the Scorpions there. We got a monk converting the full HP.
He got the conversion. He got it. And there's some weak Knights in there.
That can kill the other Knights. That can kill 2 Knights. Ooh. What a betrayal right there from Nikov's Knight, and Winchester's got to be happy with that one.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, Nikov's the opposite of that. I'm sure he's pretty annoyed, but it does happen with monks. It was a great reaction from Vinch to add the monastery when the Knights got in before. And it is 50 villagers for both players right now. Nicov has 4 fishing ships, and he's got those eco upgrades.
He doesn't see the siege workshop, and he's waiting until he has more than 1 mangonel to come forward.
That's pretty nuts.
I mean, it is, because it won't give Nicov any time to really mentally prepare himself or react. Doesn't have a mangonel of his own yet, just a couple Scorpions.
Oh, man.
And it's even an outpost. Like, the patience here from Winchester to wait to come forward with an army that can actually do something is amazing. And that conversion means that he doesn't have to worry about the land pressure anytime soon. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Scorpions are just the worst thing to have when your opponent has mangonels. So it also kind of abuses that fact. Is he going to show up when he has 3?
Town Watch from Nicov is good. It might be a little bit too late to let him know exactly what's happening.
He's going to find out.
Oh, 3 mangonels,
He's going to find out, and let's watch his face here.
Oh, he saw them. He did see the edge of them before Town Watch came in, and he immediately started house walling there. He queues up a mangonel. Is it too late, though?
The only good thing right now for Nicov is that he's got the defender's advantage and that there's walls, right? So the stable units from Winchester can't actually get in there, which gives Nicov an opportunity to defend.
Unless he kills this house. And he's targeting the house right now.
True.
And there's no villagers nearby to make another wall in between that gold and the siege workshop. So if he gets through here, it could be a problem for Nicov. Nicov does have the mangonel out. Winchester, though, has that outpost, giving him extended vision. The units are through. The house is coming up. It's an attack ground, but the villager isn't in time.
He's going to try and gate here or something. Actually, Winchester's going to kill his own units. Big shot from Nicov. That's okay. I think you take that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got monks behind to heal. Your mangonel going down is obviously a big deal, and the knight is going to try and escape and heal up behind this. Oh, man, this game has gotten way more messy than it ever had a right to be.
I'm laughing because Winchester, if you can't take the middle gold, that's kind of cool, dude. Just make TCs over here.
Yeah, you can take Nikov's gold.
There's 3 of them.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Nicov is in trouble, dude. Nicov is like 12 on stone right now. He's thinking maybe if I can get a defensive castle, I can shift over to a different area, but losing his entire economy.
Oh, the knight was healed up. There's a camel there as well, and Nicov continues to struggle.
You're not saving that Mangonel. You're not saving that Mangonel.
Especially if the camel's going to block there. Winchester fighting for his tournament life, but also he's fighting to kill Jordan in a sense, because if he wins this series, Jordan will be out of NAC4. What a great choice.
That's so big, right? Now you don't have to get the knights in through the walls. You can just have the monks converting the mangonels, and Nicov, he is going for guard tower. That's actually really nice tech here because it'll mean the monks can't really advance, and same with the crossbows. Also, they do quite well against mangonels, but you can tell like he has to do 15 things at once. He can't pull these villagers away and survive. He needs to expand his eco. He needs to go for guard tower. He needs to go for a castle. It's just too many requests.
Yep, and this gives Winchester the time now to shift his focus towards the middle, which obviously means water control. Those villagers will likely complete 1 or 2 docks there, which will turn into fire ships. And I'm struggling to see what you do in Nikov's current position, honestly. I feel like Malians have shown their flexibility with what technologies are available, and they've taken it to lands, which is exactly what you need to do against the Vikings.
Yeah, War Galley research on the way. It's almost in 15 seconds away, and this ball of mangonels keeps advancing. Nikov's like, I'll try guard tower. Maybe this will work. I don't know.
He has no fletching either,
They
Dave.
squeak their way through the hole in the wall, and they're going to be able to take out this town center. Maybe Winchester has kicked the curse of the 5-game series.
And this is after 3 days in a row where he was up 2-1 and then lost those sets. He showed resilience yesterday to win in the 5th game against ACCM.
He did get the docks denied, though, and the docks on the left side might be denied for a time.
Are all of them denied? I must have missed that. He's just going to use monks.
Okay, he gets those ones up. And, of course, he still has that walled-in one in the center.
That was nice from Nicov, but I didn't see that.
Like, Nicov is doing everything he can to hang on, right? It looks really ugly for him at the back here, but remember, he does still have 84 villagers versus 87 from Winchester, and the res collected is still in favor of Nicov.
Yeah,
it's just so ugly here, especially with Redemption in. Nicov goes for a defensive castle, forced to delete the Mangonel. Unfortunately for him, Winchester can't spot that castle just yet.
Also, Vinch knows he needs Imp. Not Vinch, excuse me, Nicov. I'm sure Vinch is thinking the same. So Nicov sells stone and is on the way to the Imperial Age.
No fletching. He can't range the Mangonels.
Yeah, it's been bad. I mean, and he's also making ships. So fletching is his most important upgrade here.
Yep. If you see that gold there, it's demo time, dude. It's demo time. I mean, it's always demo time in my world, but if you see that gold, oh, baby.
Look at the eco balance for Nicov.
It's crazy.
30 on gold, 12 on stone, then 7 on wood, 8 on food. It's just like the opposite of what we expect.
Oh man, the mission objective right now is just survive.
Yeah.
Just survive and figure it out.
What's crazy?
He's expanding along the bottom side of the map, and you know what? He looks like he's going to actually give himself a chance here.
This is one of those games where if Vinch ever runs out of gold, he's going to be able to sell food. He actually just bought it. Food price is insane. But he could actually sell food at a pretty good price because Nicov is just constantly buying it for upgrades. What a game here, guys. I mean, this is still winnable for Nicov. If he can make trebuchets from his castle, if he could upgrade his navy, which he's now doing.
He's still buying food for 200 gold now.
Yeah.
And he's still buying food.
He's buying stone as well.
And Nicov is coming forward. Does he see this castle from Winchester? He does. He goes for a castle of his own. He knows he's probably going to be faster to the Imperial Age.
No Bodkin for a while in this fight for Nicov, so he's lost a lot of expensive ships. He's going to have the gold. He's going to have wood. He will be able to make trebs, and he will be able to make navy, and there goes Winchester on the way to Imp, but he might not have a castle, Dave, when he gets there.
He might not have a castle. He needs to send more to stone right now, because you know with a forward castle like that, your opponent's on the way to Imp somehow, even though you've completely destroyed everything in his base. You know he's on the way to Imp, and you know you're going to need to repair that. I think Winchester, like you said before, should actually unironically go for a TC with the villagers at the back of Nikov's base and secure that gold early.
Yep. And outposts elsewhere, like to the south of that castle you saw from Nicov, because you know he has to be there, and you could just raid with light cav.
Yep.
My concern here is the Malians don't get Bracer. So Galleon, I think I do get it, but I don't think you should even go for Galleon.
I think you're playing. demo.
Lots of demos. And fires as well should be an option. I believe they do get fast fire at the
how
very
many
least.
demolition ships, heavy demolition ships to take out a castle?
I think he wants the Trebs.
No, but theoretically, we're theorizing.
Oh, heavy demos?
Yeah, we are theorizers here.
13.
I think it's probably like 24.
Oh.
There's a lot, dude.
Yeah, it is a lot. I once tried it with regular demos. It didn't go well. I thought it would be stronger.
All right, longboats in. And demos can do well against longboats if they're stacked, but you got to kind of bait them in, right? So it's not the demos against longboat play that he's probably planning. He's probably planning them against the Trebs or against that castle. That is 9 demos, man. He might know the number. Maybe he's done the math. Maybe he knows how many demos it takes to take out a castle. It's for the Trebs, and here come the villagers to repair.
The villagers get in front.
Boom!
That's a lot. That's an expensive loss, but he takes the Trebs. He can now make his own trebuchets.
3,300 HP on that castle. It's time for another 12 demos.
Well, you said heavy, right? Heavy,
I did say heavy.
That's doing some heavier damage.
It is doing some heavier damage.
Look at just random mangonels taking out a market. That's pretty much normal for this game. And gold control still there at home for Vinch. I'm sure he's running low, but Malian gold does last longer, which is coming in clutch here.
Careening is already in, by the way, so we're going to have careening fast fires from Winchester, which are very tough to take down. You're going to have your eye on those longboats at all times, and it's important to note that War Galley is not in for Nicov, so he can't even really mix in demos yet.
Absolutely.
It's going to be demo raft, which basically tickle the fast fire
He needs to buy stone and make stone gates. Like, he's trying to house wall a little bit, which is extremely smart, but he also needs to make sure that the Trebs on the far side of that castle can't get ranged. Oh, man. Bracer's just now coming in for Nicov, just reinforcing how bad his economy is looking.
If Nicov manages to win this game, it is an insane hold, honestly.
And Winchester's heart will be out of his chest in game number 5.
And, yeah, exactly. And Winchester is probably nervous right now, knowing that he's likely in a winning position, just trying to finish it off. Vodka pointed out the fact that Nicov is housed because Winchester has been killing all of his houses back to his base, so it just adds, right? Everything, it's getting terrible for him as he's trying to keep the longboats alive, trying to get Trebs masked up for a push, but he knows there's an Imperial Navy waiting for him.
Elite longboat shreds fast fires. There's how many? 19. That's not the most convincing against 14 fires.
Castle goes down. Castle goes down for Winchester, but the castle, he doesn't have any stone.
Neither player had stone here. This is amazing.
He can't save the castle.
Oh, he must have lost his Bracer blacksmith. So he's now researching Bracer again.
Yep. Houses, blacksmiths, everything. Nicov trying for those gates. He's trying to create a choke point for himself. The gate does go down, and the fire ships can't get around that, but the Treb goes down too, and they weasel their way in between those houses. We didn't know there was a hole there before. We do now.
Come on, Bracer. Bracer's going to help out so much here. He doesn't have ballistics, though. He's missed a lot of his shots.
And from behind, there's more fire ships coming. He has to deal with those, so he needs to fall back on the left side. Fire ships still in the queue here from Winchester. He doesn't have enough stone for another castle, but Nicov is 137 population out of 125.
Yeah, Winchester, he's going to make bombard cannons somewhere.
Dude, he's doing this deliberately. Winchester is killing the houses deliberately.
He has nothing else to do.
He knows, bro.
I love it. It's such a good thing because Nikov's not... The biggest thing he needs right now is pop space so he can make these ships.
And when he follows the villager over there, he's going to know about the housing situation.
And look at the cannons coming in on the left. Those galleys or those longboats aren't able to really defend because they're on the other side of this island here. And I think Winchester might just do this. He'll give himself a shot to win the whole thing in NAC4. He'll take out Jordan in the process. I don't think Nicov has any chance anymore, Dave. He's going to lose the middle. He's going to lose everything in the middle.
There. It's a great night raid, but the mangonels are still working away. Now it's a bombard cannon. Being ranged by the guard tower, though.
Yeah, like, actually, the longboats haven't really died. And Vinch is over booming with 143 bills.
He doesn't believe in that word.
Yeah, okay. And the bombard cannons are in jeopardy. They will all die. Everything will die to these ships, I believe.
Yeah, unless the bomber cannons get some sick shots on the stack. Longboats will stack up here, so Nicov has to be very careful about that.
Oh, man. And Nikov's actually done a great job with his eco to get elite longboats and all these things. He's got a random Treb.
What?
A Treb and a Knight in a Dream. What?
And he's coming forward with production buildings over there. I don't know if those are archer ranges or what. The longboats still, there's stables over on that side. Winchester is going to have to deal with this.
Nicov no way.
Is still alive with the longboats in the center. The guard tower does go down, and the villagers are under fire. But the fire ships are just not finding the engagements that they want to.
This is insane. You just get in close here if you're Nicov and go for the bomber cannons and the trebs. You should have as little hesitation as possible. I don't even know what that treb's up to at the moment, but look at these longboats shred in the middle.
And the treb is dead now as Winchester tries to abandon this position with the bombard cannon. He does get a ship before he dies. Looks like Nicov is going to be able to clear that up, though. Winchester with 154 vills, but
he doesn't. He's out of pop space, Dave. What he really needs is he needs some land focus and all that exposed farming eco from Nicov. Nikov's going to make light cap with Vikings. Not a very strong unit, so it's still doable for Vinch. It's just, is he going to send all of his gold income into the middle?
Coming forward here from Nicov. He's just trying to make it as messy as
possible.
God. Can Winchester manage to hold on to this water area, or maybe it's a situation where he wants to start selling the food, like you say.
Yeah.
Nikov's kind of
good prices,
keeping him in here for gold, or maybe he wants to go over to Nikov's side to access that gold as he pushes forward once again with these mangonels and crossbows. Remember, Malian gold does last longer too. As heavy demolition ship is coming out, maybe he saw the stacks from those longboats. He's like, oh, if I could hit some demos on there, it's going to be filthy.
This is insane. The thing is, Winchester could still win this game as long as he can get it together on land. Right? It's taken him some time, but the ships in the middle only give Nicov gold. And he doesn't have a fortification set up at home, really. He's got one single castle that might even die.
You can keep adding docks around here, and Winchester is making the migration now, it looks like, with villagers in the north. So maybe he can...
mining camp. Do you see the mining camp on the gold in Nikov's base? So he's going to take that eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the villagers along the shoreline over there. Yeah, those are the ones I was talking about. And maybe he can redock in the north there, too. He just needs to keep adding docks, right, as soon as Nicov is distracted, and loop the villagers around to come and take that gold. There's still plenty of gold left on the map for him. Malian longer lasting gold really going to come into play.
Nikov's going to go crossbowman, which I really like, because once you get the arbalest upgrade, it's just like the ships. You're just spending wood and gold, and Vikings are pretty strong with that. But he needs to pressure that farming eco. He's tried a little bit, but the light cap are stronger for the Malians. Winchester still with the score lead, but Dave, you can tell the pressure's getting to him a little bit. It felt like he could have brought himself back in this game, but these freaking longboats just so strong.
Bring himself back. I still think he's in a pretty favorable position in this game. I mean, what is Nicov going to do to him on the land? And if Nicov doesn't have any farming eco over there, the castle is down, there's nowhere to go. Like, you can only play off that gold in the center as long as your opponent doesn't have access to any gold. But instead, he has access to the gold in the middle, and the longboats aren't going to matter if Winchester can just hang on to the edges.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Should also bring up the fact that Winchester, he's missing some eco upgrades. He's catching up on them now. His blacksmith upgrades are really poor on the light cap, so the light cap will melt to Arbalest. Castle from Nicov is just because he recognizes that spot is exposed. That'll really help him defend from any potential raids. But we have trebs for Winchester from somewhere. I imagine, well, not somewhere. He's got one castle.
Probably, yeah, the left castle. Somewhere is the only where that he can actually produce them, as the light cap now get in. Farimbo would be nice, right?
It would be great.
The upgrades would be great, but obviously he's been very, very distracted, and I love this from Nicov. Oh, man, we were talking about the extra gold access. He has those mangonels, though, so Nicov needs to be very careful here.
He's got it. He's got it. I have faith.
Nicov.
Well, there you go. And don't tell me that castle's going to be denied.
No way, dude. What a crazy game. What an absolutely insane game here. Nicov comes in. He's going to get nuked. Bye-bye, Arbalest Group number 1. Bye-bye, Arbalest Group number
and Vils?
2.
Arbs will get it. Nicov notices now, so obviously he won't lose these Vils, but the castle goes up.
And
the other castle's getting trebbed right now, but I think the trebs are being attacked by something.
Trebs are being attacked by light cap
Viking
and a
knights.
It's I am not whelmed by this defense over here from Nicov, but he does get the treb with the very last hit there.
What?
7 on food, by the way, for Nicov.
Yeah.
7 on food.
Who needs it? Who needs it? Wood and gold is the name of the game here. Holy cow. Okay, there's Farimba, there's armor. Winchester has a healthy economy at 157. He needs to avoid the middle and take out that castle or any of the castles that Nicov really has.
This is wild, dude. Those Arbalists. It's a good thing he doesn't have any docks with the heavy demolition ships. He's got the Arbalists moving along the shoreline, but of course he has full water control. He's going to head into the eco. We have so many farms being placed in the north there from Winchester. It's a full migration from him. Outpost over here from Nicov. He's going to be like, wow, it's wide open.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
and he sees the farms as well, so that's the spot to focus on. You know, if Winchester gets final armor on his cav, I think the Farimba light cav can kill the Arbalest.
even right now.
Yeah.
Even right now. This could even be potentially a Tigui situation.
Yeah, maybe.
Against Arbalest and Pikeman raids. We can see all the text in the book here as the light cav now raiding the villagers. Nicov down to 101 villagers. Winchester's still up at 152. He lost a lot of those Arbalists, but he's got more archer ranges. Slowly branch out from the water.
This is an amazing game.
Yeah.
And to add to it, Winchester has the nerves of a player who will be eliminated from this tournament if he doesn't win this series. Nicov, he's got a little less pressure, but still the pressure's high for him because he wants as good a seed past the group stage as possible. I love how Nikov's using the shoreline, right?
Yep.
So he's using that shoreline to his benefit there. Also keeping a very close eye on this as, you know, he wants to keep Winchester off of gold still.
He's got one Arbalist taking down that Treb there, and he's buying stone, so he's thinking about a castle, and I think, does the castle go at your back golds, or does it go towards Winchester's base?
I think it's in the south, but
okay.
the timing's all off here, right? It's the same thing Winchester did where you send a Treb out without support.
Yeah, and he's looking for a placement there with the villagers. The Treb is working away up there, though. Nicov even trying to take gold at his own base. That's not going to work. Will the raids at the top accomplish anything? As soon as he gets, like, Nicov is fully amphibious here. Like, as soon as he leaves that swampy terrain, he gets completely killed. So he needs to stay by his longboats.
And 40 of his military is just protecting the middle. Is there a point where you delete longboats?
Oh, look at the prices Winchester's getting for the food there. That's so good.
That's a sick castle there from Nicov, but if he sees that Vinch already has a castle there, I think you back it up onto the shoreline a bit. You don't want to give an easy Treb spot.
30 light cav.
Oh,
with 2 Trebs.
You can't kill that.
There's
can't
there's
kill
nothing. And he can even start adding in Gabettos. All he needs is like 10 Gabettos behind that. The pikemen can never kill it. There's not going to be any more knights here from Nicov.
Can we see how much gold is actually left in the middle right now?
It's quite a bit.
Okay, there's still a lot of gold left. They're all congregating there.
14.8.
And yeah, castle in the middle, I guess, makes sense.
And there's stone there, too, on the water. I'm surprised Nicov hasn't taken that, but the Farimba light cav just working away on the castle. Nicov, that is his one defense here against the raids, and he is going to be all in on the middle, baby, as he shifts all of his villagers over to gold. 46 on gold right now. It's going to be even more for Nicov soon as he keeps raiding the woodline and the stone.
Dude, I wish this was Wonder Victory. I want to see Nicov plop a Wonder in the middle right now. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would be? But it feels like Vinch is actually going to do it. He does have gold income, remember. He's taking it in what used to be Nikov's base. It's not Nikov's base anymore.
How long? My question is, if Nicov really wants to grind this out, how long can he hold onto that middle area, right?
Yeah.
He's going to have to pay attention to every single shoreline. This is a crazy situation we found ourselves in. 71 on gold for Nicov. 74 now. And he's just using the market.
I think he could. No, I just don't know what he can make, right? Like, he's going to maybe try and get infantry out there, like pikemen, but he doesn't have the wood for pikemen.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the food for berserks. So, you know, that gold count's going to go up and up and up, but the prices are only going to get more expensive, and that is very distracting.
That's like the DVD logo that you wait to hit the corner, you know?
Can we get that corner hit, please? Corner hit.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Please. Come on, stop teasing us. Oh! No! Get out of here.
Okay, light cav chasing down the Arbalists, and they are also chasing down the villagers from Nicov. We've got 63 on gold. up there from the Argentinian. He's desperately trying to hold on here, but we see architecture coming in. Bombard cannons, more light cav, 65 on food for Winchester, and he's got the Trebs working away on the housing situation. How is Nicov still at 151 bomb?
It's because he's got all his bills in the middle. He's got 83 bills in the middle.
Oh no! Disaster!
Oh God.
Oh boy.
But no, I mean, there's probably a similar amount of gold available for Winchester and Nikov's base than there is in the middle. Not quite. But you're always going to take wood and gold access over the situation
here,
that Nicov
this
has
is what
right
we've
now.
been waiting for, right? Nicov can dock in the north when, or sorry, Winchester can dock in the north when Nicov goes over there with the longboats to deny it. He can dock somewhere else when he's distracted. Winchester is talking to himself. He's talking to Nicov, and there's the GG. Vinch has broken the curse he's going through.
Crazy. The first 3 days, Winchester took it to the 5th game and lost, and then yesterday he won in the 5th game.
Yep.
Here he wins in the 4th game. Winchester is alive. He will move on out of group stage. That is sad, of course, for Jordan, a fan favorite. That does mean that Jordan will not be moving out. But what a series there. Nikov's still in a good spot. He'll be moving down.
Winchester goes this way, Nicov goes this way. It's remarkably similar to last game.
I was going to say it's a repeat of the game. Yeah, and wow, what a series, man. I wish we could interview Nicov for that as well. Again, Nikov's now 2 and
he's through regardless.
He's through regardless. And we can talk about all those results and whatever else at the end of the day, because the beauty of the situation over the course of this day is that players will be rooting for one another, right? Yep. Jordan was rooting for Nicov there, and we had a situation where I think ACCM or no, it was Yo rooting for Villese in the previous series. Just lots of different factors with the way these standings work. We will have Winchester in a moment. Looks like he's ready to go.
He's got a big old smile on his face, too.
Yeah, I would too. What a series, man. What a series. Let's head over there and talk to him.
You head over there. I'm casting the next set.
Sounds good.
There we go. Guys, bring it on over to T90. We've lost our background. I've almost lost my voice, but go.
Calm down. Oh, is it following me?
Yes.
Dude, I was fixing my pants. I always go that way so the camera doesn't follow me. What's your heart rate right now?
Pretty high, I believe.
Pretty high, yeah. Man, I mean, I'm still stuck up on the previous game. The previous game was very special. So rude, everything you just said about our viewers.
I have nothing to say. I have no words. I need to think all this. Yeah, I thought it's 2-2 by the way in the last game.
Really?
I was a 2-2. I thought so. Yeah, that was a little bit more pressure than I thought. Only now I realized that I'm kind of sad that I didn't play the 5th game. I didn't finish the challenge.
The challenge. Well, Vinch, for your sake, I'm happy for you, and I'm happy you didn't have to go into that 5th game. Unbelievable performance. I'm sure you're still calming your nerves, but let's just talk about this here. Game number 1, you went for Aztecs, a pick that we saw yesterday work quite well. You did lose a lot of villagers, but why Aztecs? What went well for you?
Well, Aztecs is Aztecs. I won the game because of the super crazy Eagles, because they monks. I mean, they didn't really work out, but that kind of closed some of the opportunities for Nicov, because if he would go for more siege or for more knights, maybe in Castle Age, so he cannot do this because I have 2 monasteries, so it will be instantly countered. So Aztec is Aztecs. I think I played really sloppy on the start because I saw the archer range, and that was my actual plan. I wanted him to react with archer range because probably his scout will be busy following my men-at-arms, so he cannot be sure if I built archer range or not. So I really wanted him to follow me, but in fact he built archer range and made his damage, and I didn't defend anyhow. I didn't finish my walls again, by the way. I repeat this mistake one more time. So yeah, I mean, Aztecs just proved that they're the best, and I just asked Nicov. He was going up to Imperial Age, but still nothing to do. But this is what I was afraid of. Like, there will be a pack of archers, Imperial Age, and I just can't fight. But it didn't happen this time, so I'm happy that I took the game 1.
Did you expect the castle drop here with light cav from Nicov of all people? Because I don't really see Nicov as that type of player.
I don't want to say that I expected that, but that was like, oh, that's Nicov. He is really crazy with understanding the game and arena. So light cavs, but yes, it will be castle forward. So that was something like what I kept in mind. Like, yeah, for sure he has something prepared here. It cannot be just pure light cavs, monks, boom, again, balls. No, never. So I was kind of more afraid that actually, rather than expect. But yeah, that was pretty fast. There was not in time with stone, with castle. My build order went wrong. And by the way, there is a funny thing. I know that we jump in the next one, but I placed all my buildings under the TC. I thought like, okay, let's try it. I think this is the first time when I did it, and that was actually terrible.
You had no farm
because
space.
I have no, I mean, farm space on forward, that's fine. I thought I will protect that. But the worst thing that there is no walls. Usually when you have your buildings placed, there is a semi-wall, so you have something prepared already, or yeah, and also I blocked my boar, so everything was, I was like, I was smiling at the same time, what am I doing?
Yeah, oh man,
So,
that's funny.
yeah.
Well, here's a clip of the early stages. Obviously, you end up winning this. Did you just feel like you had to hold on till late game with the Gurjaras?
For sure, no. I mean, again, I'm super angry at myself, say like on the first game about the Man-at-Arms. That must be like, it should never make that damage as it did. By the way, there is an important thing. I checked for this hole. I checked for it on the bottom.
Yeah?
I sent the villager and it go on the top. I don't know. I want
Ooh.
to check again what
Yeah.
timing that was, but I checked for the hole and I thought like, okay, it seems like it wallet, happy me.
That can
But later archers come there.
that can happen. Like there has been situations, it's been reported where if you click outside, it tells you there's no hole. So I'm glad that didn't hurt you. Okay, this game was insane. We get to a
That's
pretty
okay.
crazy spot here. Did you plan to land initially? Because that
No.
seemed to be what worked well for you.
No. What I knew that what I predicted well in this one, that Nicov will play water in Feudal Age. So
Okay.
usually Vikings, it's kind of drash, do some stuff, then try to go for longboats. But I knew that it's going to be Feudal here.
Okay.
So I was kind of expecting this. That's why I sent villager forward. But then I realized, okay, I'm up with 21 villager. That's I think 20, maybe. Idols as well, so I knew that I'll be late. He won the scout war with the villagers, some not the best stuff for me. So, and this is Vikings, right? If you give him an opportunity to spam the galleys faster and you don't really have an early advantage, then they just smash in Feudal Age. So that's point where I knew that, okay, water is lost. Let's go for some crazy sneak attack, forward, etc. I thought it was super slow, but in result, it worked.
Yeah, small thing there. Nicov had placed the wall foundation, like right when you started building the range. You saw the villager, though. He had forgotten to get a villager over there or something happened. So the AoE gods blessed you in that moment,
Yeah,
and
I was
you got a
lucky.
lot of damage in with that attack. This is just the tail end of this game. Like, when you completely lost water, if at that point we would have paused and I would have asked you, would you have said that you would win or lose that game?
It's hard because till the last few minutes, I had no idea how I would push water.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I already lost the game and there was no chance for me to win at some point. I know that it's not true now, that with light caps I could push probably everything because even pikes would be so expensive for him from the middle. But I knew that, okay, I'm out of water, how was I supposed to win? So maybe if I analyze the situation more, I understand that he's really weak on land and I can probably outpush him from land and win there. Then, yeah, but I was so nervous because they said I was a 2-2.
Yeah.
I thought, and at the same time, I was not sure how I will win the game. So I was just clicking. I knew that I'll need to expand on his base, take rest there. I knew that I'll need to get everything cleared on the outside base. So in general, I knew what to do, but I wasn't sure that how I'll finish the game. But yeah, I wonder that he went an Imperial Age at this game. I suppose he bought a lot, right?
He did buy a lot, yes.
Yeah,
and then,
I
like
s-
the last 5 minutes, he had no wood and no food. But for a period there, I mean, he was only behind by 10 or 15 villagers. He did get up to about 20 farmers and imp.
Yeah,
So his
I
eco
got it.
was really strong.
Yeah, because handcart Vikings, also longboats is not dying, so it still can be a very efficient fight for him. So, yeah, I knew that game probably is not done. But yeah, I think Demos actually saved me the game.
Yeah, the demos on the Trebs was
Yeah,
huge.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a clutch move. One more question. So, did you think that was game 5 before the game started? Like when you picked Malians?
Actually, no, I knew that there was a melee play. So somewhere in the game, I was so nervous because I thought this is game 5. So it's
Okay,
like
so
brain lag.
you were thinking
But yeah,
melee
I
for
need
Golden
to play
Lakes.
Melee for
Okay,
Golden
so but
Lakes,
in the
yeah.
game is when your brain just went
No,
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I was nervous mostly about that. But also, I'm kinda. I think one of the main mistake there was also that I didn't went for heavy demos earlier. I tried to make them, but I think they could actually work.
Okay.
So I could mix like even because with fires it doesn't after elite upgrade there is like no chance to win the
Yeah,
fight.
none. Yep.
So that's why probably demos could work better because at least I would like to trade some. It's gonna take more time from him to micro. So just a little bit early with demos and try to loop around more with fires. Maybe that could work.
I mean, in the end, your economy won you the game. Maybe not the gold count, but everything else.
Yeah. But
we don't know exactly where you'll place. And I would need a confirmation that it's 100%, but I believe you winning that series does mean
yeah, for
you're
sure.
not in the bottom 2.
Especially because Jordan lost, so there is no even bush holds needed.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm not even the last. I guess Nicov is the 8th, so I am at least 7th. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. So you know better than I do. So how does it feel? Because, again, the first 3 days, you lost 3-2. How does it feel to have clawed your way back? And the sky's the limit from here because you move on out of the groups.
Yeah, to be honest, I felt really bad after first 3 losses, but my friends keep supporting me with. I mean, it's not nothing, but they told me like, "Come on, man, you're always 3-2," and I know that I was really close to win the games, and just needed to swap the cifs a little bit, play in small things better. So they told me like, 3-2, you're playing amazing, let's go. But I didn't really feel comfortable, but I mean, confidence. But when I won ACCM today it was much better match for me.
Yeah.
Even I knew that for Nicov, it's not really, he would advance even if he lose. Yeah, he will advance even with he lost.
Yep.
But yeah, I felt so relaxed as well. And at the moment when never mind. So I felt so relaxed as well, and I hope it will bring me in better situation in playoff, and I'll play there same like I felt today.
Well, now you just get to truly relax and just watch the upcoming sets, like me. So we'll hang out, talk about the games
Exactly.
maybe. And congratulations again. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from you, man. I think I've covered like most of your sets. It wasn't necessarily planned that way, but from an entertainment standpoint, I'm going to keep fighting for that one because it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy that you like the games. Thank you very much, T90. Thank you guys for supporting me.